What's up, guys? It's your host, Spartanic Arts DXD, back with another high school DxD related video. And today we have What If Issei Uncovered the Truth, Part 8. Let's start to hit 200 to 300 likes for this video. That'd be absolutely amazing. And if you guys want to know exactly when I upload / my upload schedule, click the little blue button right next to the subscribe button, or the first link in the comments, or the first link in the descriptions, or the first link in the premiere, because I know at least 50 of you people are here. You know what I'm saying? Also, this episode is like 2 to 3 hours. I don't know how long it is, but it's very long. Okay, it took me very long to read. But without further ado, let's go and thank my balance breakers and Juggernaut Drive members: Lachlan Yates, Ant Lewis, Anthony Lewis, Zapper363, and Night Ammo. Thank you so much for becoming a balance breaker and Juggernaut Drive member. I appreciate you guys so much. And I've been uploading a lot of early releases on my Patreon, like about 40 minutes of like the next episodes, so that people can have some content on my Patreon as well. But obviously more content is coming there too. With that being said, thank you to my Patreon members: Smells Noise, Lachlan Yates, God Killer, Mark Bacon, Lord Fluff, and Zero Fusion 4863. Thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. Seriously, I cannot thank you guys enough. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into this 2 to 3 hour episode, however long it is. Let's go ahead and get into Uncovered Part 8. Chapter 8. Familiar Faces. What's when this maniacal laughing? Hey, Volley, it was you? Byoko, yes, it's me. How disturbing. I've never heard you laugh like that. Have you finally lost it after thinking about the Katsuru? I'm afraid not. I've been watching this interesting program. You should watch it as well. Oh? Isn't that the new show your rival, the Red Dragon Emperor, has come up with? Indeed, I am currently viewing the latest episode, shown in only in theaters. Yes, I heard they wouldn't show it for normal for some reason. How is it that you're watching it then? The Gagar was once my home. I have my ways, Volley says. Is that so? Now I got it. The footage of the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor event, isn't it? Correct. Though he didn't use his own power, my rival seems to have slain a god with his bare hands. I can't help but feel elated. Oh, really? I see. Well, it is a bit scary that something like that has taken place. If I'm correct, there aren't any Longinus possessors to this day that have killed gods. Well, calling this one a god is a technicality, isn't it? Regardless of whether it fits conventional means or not. It was a being of legend, a mythological existence, like the one that held up in the heavens, that isn't a minor existence at all. In the end, he killed a god himself, the first Longinus user to properly slay a god. That's exactly why I desire my rival. Sometimes you creep me out when you smile. No, more than that, you're just freaky. You're just saying freaky things anyways. As a result, I have decided to let you be alone and take my leave. Byoko, what is it? Contact Azazel. I have something to speak to him about. Huh? Your old man? No way. Isn't he just going to arrest us at the moment he gets the chance? Don't worry, it won't happen. More importantly, there's something he already asked me himself. I want to answer his question. Well, alright. But I'm not going to be around if he shows up. No, don't worry about it. It seems like I'm the one who's going somewhere. He's smiling again. What a creep. I can hear you, Byokyo. Gotta go. Well, let's see the sort of reaction the Pantheons will have in response to this existence. Let us both become god-killing heavenly dragons, shall we? My rival, Issei Hyodo. Now, part 1, with Issei. Thank you for your help, Issei-san. You're welcome, Shimazami-san. I walked out of Shimazami-san's office helping him out with paperwork Azazel left behind. Azazel? Yes, because for some odd reason, the other day, he asked me to start referring to him that way. I didn't understand it at first, even though I thought it was a bit rude, but he waved his hand saying, nah, don't worry about it. You're grown up enough. Just call me Azazel from now on. That's what all my friends call me. I guess he's just okay with students calling him that now, but Ravel still calls him Sensei. I'm confused. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. I'll just call him from now on anyway. Anyway, it's been a few days since I fully recovered from my battle with the Titan god Atlas. I have 2 weeks until the match. Speaking of which, I've been hearing an odd thing lately. People around the Gagar have been calling me the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor, and I think it's because of what happened with Atlas. I'm not sure, I understood it until now, but haven't I done something insane? I knew that killing a god was extraordinary and that it held immense weight as a threat to Olympus and such, but Shimazami-san told me something disturbing. There has never been a Longinus outside of the original that has been used to slay a god in history. My brain froze for a while after that. I had a lot to think about. I killed a god. I was the first Longinus user to ever truly kill a god. Even though Longinus have always been referred to as weapons that destroy God, it has never been done, until now, and I was the one who did it. How? How will the world react to this? I've been seeing a lot of Gagar treats me with a great deal of respect. But what about the various gods of the worlds? What will the faction leaders think? What about my friends? Sekiyu Dono? As I was making my way back to my room, I saw a fallen angel girls waving at me from afar. It looks like I've become a bit more popular ever since the incident with the photos the other day. Azazel just said to smile and wave. When they call out to me, I didn't have the best idea of how to do it, but if I imitate that guy, hello, I imitated a classic gentle smile to Bishun while waving. I tried to imitate Kiba's sparkling smile the best I could, but I'm not sure I could pull it off. Regardless, oh, he waved. Oh no, he's waving at me. Look, I swear. Quick, record it. Oh, Godslayer, please slay me. Please let me have a copy of your nude set. I'll trade you for my own. I kept on walking. Soon enough, I made it out my dorm to my room. I entered. Ravel was waiting for me inside. Issei-sama, you've returned, she says. But I noticed the second I walked in, she was quickly hiding something resembling the photos in the drawer. Yeah, I'm back. Is this game about to start? Yes. Ravel and I sat down on the couch in front of the TV. We were waiting for the broadcast to start, the match between Citri and Agaris. Who do you think will win, Issei-sama? I looked at the screen and the event began. The announcer started talking about the intro. Sanji will... That's the list I could say before the Sutra group was introduced. I could see the determination on his face. Win, Sanji. You can do this. Come on. The enthusiastic announcer finally gave the announcement. Let the match begin! The match had begun. We were watching for what felt like 20 minutes. Considering both teams were that excelled in strategy, the match was capture the flag type of game, centered around tactics-based play. Each team had had to capture flags on each other's bases and bring them back. It seemed all well and good, and the match was interesting most of the way through, but unfortunately, looks like the Dragon King Vitra has gone on a rampage. Sanji went berserk. His Dragon King form took over his sanity, and he was now on a rampage. Unfortunately, it looks like the four-piece pawn of Citri will have to be disqualified. Damn it! I slammed my hand onto the arm of the couch in frustration. Damn, I knew I should have attended in person. I could have been there to snap him out of it. Do not blame yourself, Issei-sama. It can't be helped. He went into that form. Even if you were there to have interjected into the game to bring him back, he would have been disqualified either way, or simply would have not been allowed to interfere. I'm sorry. I grit my teeth in frustration. Damn, I know that. The true reason I'm angry with myself is that I know that inside myself, the real reason I didn't attend the game in person was because they were there. My group. I didn't want to see them till it was my time to return. That's why I stayed. The fact that I'm acting like watching Sanji lose is what frustrates me, rather than actually being my lack of courage to show up. That's what makes me feel angry with myself. He's your friend, isn't he? Scumbag. What's wrong, Issei-sama? I turned to Ravel. She was looking up at me in concern. There's something you deeply conflicted about with yourself. She says it with worry. As I thought, Ravel, she knows me. She knows what's going on with me very well. All the time we spent together, it really feels like she's one of the people closest to me. I mean, she'd be able to read me so easily. Who else was this close to me? Nobody that I know except Issei-sama, Ravel says, as I got distracted looking into her eyes again. I wonder why that keeps happening. No. It's alright, I'm fine. I turned back to watch the match. Ravel has been helping me with practically anything I need. She's provided me with an insurmountable amount of support. I'd rather not trouble her again. Slide. I feel the sensation around my hand. Ravel's finger wrapped around mine. It was quiet after that. We watched the rest of the match silently. It only lasted another 15 minutes. In the end, the win of Citri. I turned off the TV. Sanji ended up getting disqualified only halfway through the match. At the very least, his team was able to secure the win. Hopefully he's alright. I know he's a lot like me, so I definitely know he feels guilty about his disqualification. They surely lost some merits over that. Hopefully they kept an overall good score, though. Issei-sama, I looked over to the Ravel standing behind me. She was fidgeting for some reason. That's usually when she's about to say something embarrassing. For some reason, I began to feel nervous. What is it? She pursed her lips cutely. Would you like a massage? Huh? Before I knew it, I was sitting on the edge of the bed with Ravel sitting behind me. May I ask you to remove your shirt? Well, it makes it easier. Alright. I removed my black shirt that I usually wore all the time around this place. Issei-sama's shirt fits tightly around his form. Ravel randomly said as I took off my shirt. I couldn't help but feel awkward about it. She began massaging my shoulders. It looks a bit tight fit. The material is made of something soft and flexible, so it doesn't feel tight at all. Yes, it is because Issei-sama is so fit. Your shoulders become broader, and since being here, you have still have it in a bothersome way. I think it's the best look for a man. Is that so? Yes. She speaks quietly, but with no awkwardness. Why am I the one stuttering? Why am I the one acting bashful? Isn't that her thing? Ravel continued massaging different parts of my back. Why am I even getting a massage? I know that she said she wants to help and relieve as much stress as I can, but this is... She moves my lower back and my shoulders on my shoulder blades. There are scars that I haven't seen before. There are? Yes. They look like they were skin tears. That Oh, yeah, that's from Atlas's power. Apparently, there are various parts of my body that end up burning and tearing as a result of the overwhelming power in my body. My body wasn't built for that power, after all, so it ended up having some permanent effects. Though, I don't think it's bad. Hopefully, right? No, they don't cover all of your body, only certain parts. But even if they did, Issei-sama's body is rather massaging me. I could feel her caressing my back gently. I swallowed the lump in my throat. The most noticeable ones are oddly shaped. She slid her fingers over my right bicep slowly. Ah, those. Yeah, there's some oddly shaped burns resting on each of my limbs, all 4 of them. I had inspected by Exazel, but all he said it was good strength, war, endurance, and astronomy. Then he pointed the one on my right bicep and said, "This one fits you." I didn't understand it, but that bicep was the one he looked, and he said it had strength. It's oddly shaped circular one. Yeah, I don't really get those either. Ravel's hand continued to slowly caress my body. She was even sliding over the edges of my chest. The more and more seconds passed, the more I began to move further and caress even more. She was sliding her fingers down my chest, and I remained stiff. It was no longer even a massage. Okay, buddy, we are skipping this part. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but here we go. We're skipping to this part. Ring, ring. Oh, the sound interrupted us. My phone? Azazel? That was all I could say as I looked up the phone rang on beside the drawer. Azazel-sensei? Ravel asked in confusion. I turned her head and our eyes slowly widened as we began to realize what we had done. I threw myself off her. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned away so we fixed ourselves. What did I just do? I picked up my phone and answered it frantically. Hello? Issei? What's wrong? Are you alright? Yes, I'm alright. Sorry, I was, changing? What is it? It's about time for you to head out. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, I'm on my way. All right, make sure to bring your stuff. Yeah, I know. Bye. I hung up the phone and it was dead silent. I peered over my shoulder. Ravel was on the edge of the bed and her back turned to me, curled up with her legs to her chest. Oh no, did I just mess up terribly? You are leaving for a while? Yeah, actually, I'm going off somewhere for a week. Did he tell you? She nodded her head meekly. Yeah, well, I'm going to be off for a bit. I should be back by the end of the week, though, so it went silent again. I'm sorry, I could only apologize. Why? Well, I mean, I attacked you. I could vaguely see her curl up a bit more, apologizing for making me happy. My brain stopped and the silence returned. Part 2. Screech! The sound of a train stopping at a station. I stepped on my earphones in my ears. Azazel told me I wasn't allowed to listen to the announcements or look at the prompters. Why? Because apparently the place I'm going to is a mystery. So yes, right now I've been boarded on a train in a simple backpack earphones inside my ears. I sat in with the seat with a sigh. All Azazel told me was the new trial is a few things. First, this trial was not to be televised. It won't even be recorded. Apparently, this trial is a bit more private and secretive. It's a training session that's not meant to be shown, possibly because one of it is more personal, similar to the succubus trial, which also wasn't televised. I'm not sure, but if I'm not going to be recorded, then all I can think is that it's important. Second, the place I'm getting sent to for a week is supposedly familiar to me. Azazel says this place I've been to before, and not long ago either. This eliminates a lot of options. Lastly, I'm going to this place for a week. This trial is a long one. Azazel says the reason it's so long is because it's not a single challenge type of thing. It doesn't have conditions either. All he said was that the results of my training would be decided by someone else. So now, I'm on my way, 1 whole week away from home. Home? The Gagar isn't my home, but ever since that day, I feel like there isn't another home that I have anymore. I don't imagine going home as the same way I used to. Whenever I think about, I want to go home during a trial, I always think of returning to the Gagar. It wasn't like that at the start, but it's definitely like that now. Especially now that Ravel is there. Speaking of Ravel, I kissed her. No, more than that. I pushed her down, I tongue-kissed her, I held onto her breast, I slid my hand up her thigh, My mind went occupied with these things all morning. It's been a few hours since then, but I feel like I will be thinking for this for days. I don't know what came over me. 1 minute we were talking, the next we were on the verge of having I just couldn't control myself. What would happen if Azazel didn't call? I continued to think about that for a couple of hours, because of how occupied my mind was with various thoughts. I happened to miss a few recognizable sights that passed my eyes. And then, until I saw a blatantly obvious tourist site that finally hit me in the train I was riding on. I gazed out the window with a distant look until, Kyoto Tower. Screech! We have now arrived at Station 5. Okay, I picked up my backpack and began to walk out. A place I've been to recently? Yeah, no kidding. It was like I was here literally 3 minutes ago. Alright, that's an exaggeration. But I was seriously here like a month ago with Azazel. I just unlocked Triana here. When I would come back to Kyoto one day, this is seriously not how soon I thought it would be. The train doors opened and people began to file out. I decided to sit back and wait near the end. When it was finally my turn to exit, there were a few people behind me. Thank goodness, too. Why? That's because the moment I stepped out, I saw 4 people standing on the platform with a sign. 2 men on the side with fox masks on. They were the ones with the sign, and 2 women beside them. The sign read, Issei Sama. The 2 women resembled each other, with one being smaller than the other. Also, they had some clothing that resembled of the Shinto priests and priestesses. I realized who these people were, and as little as the one shouted my name. Issei, Kino, Yakuza-san. Yay! Kano jumped and hugged my waist. You came back. She hugged onto me happily while I was half confused. Kano quickly took herself on me. She made a cute pat with a blush. Took you long enough. Would it be wrong to smile right now? I smiled brightly back. Yeah, I'm back. Seeing my smile, Kano lost her princess attitude and hugged back onto me. I'm not sure why I smiled. Maybe it's because I feel lonely, and I'm happy that I am seeing a familiar face. I mean, I know I have Ravel and Azazel, but ever since that day, it feels like I hardly have friends or loved ones. So maybe seeing another familiar person makes me this happy. We meet again, Issei Hyodo. Yakuza-san greeted me. Introduce yourself properly. Nice to see you again, Yakuza-sama. I am Issei Hyodo, this generation's current Red Dragon. Oh, you already know that. I rubbed my neck awkwardly as the cutie giggled at my introduction. She smiled sweetly. Welcome back, Issei Hyodo. I couldn't help but feel warmth in my heart. Yeah, I'm back. Kino pulled up for me and my smile was brightly at her mother. May I show him around, please? Yakuza-san raised a brow curiously. To those places you have shown him? Well, it would be problematic for you to separate from us and the guards here, but she smiled as she looked at me. Would you mind protecting her in our absence, Red Dragon Emperor Dono? I immediately placed my fist over my heart and gave a straight answer. I will protect her even against the gods. I could tell that Kano earned a red face at that moment. I said that. Yakuza-san giggled in an amused manner, like she was almost happy. Though I don't think it would be necessary, it certainly puts me at ease. Kino pulled onto my hand excitedly and led me away from the others. Come on. I'll show you the other places like aren't supposed to see. Please take care of her. Yes, ma'am. Kino, don't be too long. The first will be back in a few hours to make sure to be back by then. Yes. And with that, I spent a few hours late morning into the early afternoon with Kano, viewing all of the sights she promised to show me on the return to Kyoto. She took me to the spots that were the closest, but as the time passed, we moved further and further into Kyoto. All while holding hands. There were places she took me that I expected and didn't expect. I expected famous sites and tourist attractions. What I didn't expect was the obscure and supernatural-centered sites. She took me to the shrines that held evil spirits locked in them, temples, and then just little yokai running around shape-shifting different things to prank tourists. Even took me to the wilderness. We ran through the bamboo forest and watched a couple of them grow in real time, since they happen to be one of the world's fastest-growing trees. And my favorite part, we visited a forest with a beautiful waterfall, and I climbed up alongside of it with Kano on my back. Hold on tight. Okay. Yes. Kano latched on my back as I climbed the rock wall alongside the waterfall. We were close enough to feel a bit stray droplets keep hitting us. I would have expected Princess like Kano to be annoyed by this, but she continued to latch onto me while laughing. The water is tickling me. She seems so happy that she doesn't even care about her princess attitude being present or not. She's comfortable around me. She's happy around me. Oh wait. I paused from climbing and held there myself. Kano reached out of the waterfall with her hand. She reached into the waterfall and let it run off her hand. Wow, she laughed happily with a dazzling smile on her face. She was happy just from putting her hand against the waterfall? No, maybe because she's happy because she's the one doing it with this. Hey, you too, try it. Kano pulled my right hand to reach into the waterfall. I held onto my left and reached out with my right. The water splashed down against my arm. It was fresh, and it was honestly too strong of a current, and it would make my right arm feel cold. I could even smell the freshness of the water from right here. Kano continued to smile brilliantly while looking at our other hands in the waterfall. She seemed to even be more entranced than before. The thing was, she was being captivated by the sight of both our hands running through the water together. Looking at her, she's so happy, just because I'm here. Kano, I called out to her. I want to make her even happier. Let's keep having fun. She gained the brightest smile I've ever seen. Yes, beyond that point, it wasn't even about visiting famous sites anymore. It was just about doing anything we wanted. We ran around visiting different restaurants, eating different foods. We visited temples and made ridiculous wishes. We went to amusement attractions and even normal places like arcades and clothing stores. I'm not sure how much time passed, but it was definitely afternoon by this point. Since we were in an arcade, I got the sudden instinct to play a crane game and win Kano a plush prize. Kano, hold up, let me try this. I placed Yen into the machine and got it ready. Which one do you want? Me. Annie is fine. Alright, let's get the fox one. That's fitting, right? Yes. Okay, leave it to me. In only a few seconds, I was able to acquire the stuffed fox plush. It was thanks to me and my perverted partners that I'm so good at this. I had already got one easily back when I was with Azia. Done! The plush landed into the slot and I pulled it out. Here you go, Kano. Sorry, it's orange fox and not a golden fox or anything. If it was there, I would have gotten it, but it's perfect, she said. I couldn't stop preventing myself from smiling at her cute reaction. Unfortunately, Kano came a little downcast after a few seconds. We should return. Hannah said that we shouldn't be out for so long, so she had a somber expression on her face. It's almost like she thinks this won't happen again. Kano, she lifted her sad face up to me and I smiled widely. Let's play again tomorrow. Her eyes widened before she smiled and stretched onto her face. I could see the little tears build up in her eyes before she shut them and grinned. Yes! With that, we returned to the yokai capital of Kyoto. Now, with DxD. Upon my arrival in the yokai capital, I was greeted graciously unlike the time before. There were people cheering for me and shape-shifting into fires or different things that resemble fireworks as quick effects. As if to celebrate me, as if the guards led me to the main castle. Am I considered to be a hero here? Is it because I saved the QB leader before? But that wasn't just me, you know. I did have a lot of help. I don't think I would deserve so much. Sorry, there's a bug on me. I don't think I deserve so much recognition for it. I mean, it's not like a parade or welcoming or anything, but it's certainly people lining up and cheering for me out of sheer curiosity, or people just seeing me out of sheer curiosity. After that, we finally reached the castle. I had only been here once before, Yakuza-san's personal castle, except this time, she was here to greet us. So now I was currently gathered in a large room that I had been once before. When we received our briefing of Yakuza-san's kidnapping. The room was full of other yokai men, and a couple women gathered across the lines from each other. We were all sitting on the floor with the mats and large table of food/drink in front of us. Kano was sitting on my right, while Yakuza-san at the very front of the table. Besides the two women, I could only recognize one person who was with the yokai man that was one of the advertisers during the kidnapping incident. Other than that, just a random yokai man who seemed like officials of some sort. Most of the yokai men seemed to be drinking sake and laughing it up with each other. I'm surprised by the laid-back atmosphere. Maybe they're just having a celebration because they get the rest of the day off and all the stuff happened during Yakuza-san's kidnapping. They did say that they would be doing negotiations after the incident after all, so they probably just got their break. In this sort of situation, I feel like very out of place. I could only sit there with a blank smile while sipping tea awkwardly. At least no one was putting their attention on me. Issei. I looked down to my right. Kano nervously looked up as she held up some food with her chopsticks. I held up my mouth and Kano fed me meat that was with her chopsticks. Delicious. Kano smiled brightly at my reaction and immediately picked up some food to feed me. Well, at least there was one person paying attention to me. I heard a light giggling amongst all the drunk jabble of yokai men. I could see Yakuza-san covering her mouth with a smile. Now I'm feeling embarrassed. Slide, right when that was happening, the main entrance to the room was slowed over that resembled a staff or something. Isn't that staff familiar? Excuse me for my tardiness. The Jade Dragon was being bothersome. What entered was an old man smoking pipe, holding a familiar staff, but that was the most obvious detail about him. I noticed while standing and shouting abruptly, and it was what entered, an old man smoking pipe, it's the first generation Sun Wukong. He was a monkey. Oi, Red Dragon Emperor boy, it looks like you arrived already. That's right, this old monkey man is none other than the first generation Sun Wukong of legend. I met him here during a crisis. He was the one who essentially saved us from the hero faction at the last second. Without him, we would have surely been toast. Sun Wukong, you have arrived. Thank you for coming. Kiwi-sama, think nothing of it. The Jade Dragon had already been forcing us to overstay our welcome by taking us to all the Kyoto's exquisite cuisines. Besides, if it was a request from Kiwi-sama, I have no reason to refuse. Well, it was technically a request from the fallen angel governor. But I had decided you would be a much greater choice to fulfill his recommendation. That's why I hope we aren't troubling you. No, of course not. It's no trouble. Compared to the green brat, the red boy is much more pleasant to be interact with. At the very least, fulfilling a request on behalf of the crow boy would be beneficial for the faction's relations. I can only whip my head between the two in complete confusion. What? Huh? I'm mentioned again? What? Factions? Huh? What? I can't follow along. What's going on? Alright then, I suppose you won't complain if I take him off your hands right now, do you, Kyubi-sama? Oh no, not at all. Yakuza-san smiled at first, but then to me. What's happening? Issei-sama, would you mind following Sun Wukong, please? There's something you must discuss. There is? Follow me, boy. Let's talk over here. Okay. I got up and walked in first out of the room. This time Kano did not accompany me. I asked him as we began walking throughout the castle grounds. First? Call me Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong-sama. What is it, Red Dragon Emperor boy? Where exactly are we going? There is a forest within the castle. We will go there. Yes, the one Kano used to play in, right? But what exactly, where are we going? First, to talk a bit, then we get to important set. Maybe we'll start with some basics, but the main lesson is control. Is that so? I followed him silently after realizing I was too stupid to process any of the cryptic riddles that he said. It's almost the more important figures that they talk this way. Truthfully, I probably did understand what he was saying, but I just couldn't admit it out of disbelief. We passed through many parts of the main castle, and large forests sitting at the back. The fact that there is a forest inside the castle grounds seems ridiculous, but it makes sense when you realize that you have a playful yokai daughter who wants to be in the free world, but it's too dangerous for her yet. She was able to play out there all she wanted to sanitate her playful personality, though she is always made to make sure to keep her princess persona and proper etiquette almost all the time. So apparently that's the reason she had fun with me. She doesn't feel like she needed to keep up the persona like she was told. I'm glad she feels comfortable around me. We finally made it to the forest, and Sun Wukong-sama stopped me in front of me. Alright, let's talk then. He turned around and held his body in the air by his tail, while crossing his legs, essentially sitting his tail. Whoa, he can hold himself up with his tail? That's one strong tail. How cool. What is it? You seem impressed by something. Well, it looks really cool that you have the ability to do that. It's one of the signs that you are strong, right? Sun Wukong puffed a bit from his pipe while raising a brow. Oh, strength? No, this is control. True, it does take some strength to hold up my body, but without the proper control, there is no balance or grace. The ratio of strength compared to control is unbalanced. Control is always more important. Whoa, he just gave me a mini speech about control over strength. How interesting. He seems to be estimate of a wise teacher. You're interested in this. Alright, it's a simple lesson, but it's actually a good start, good thinking. What? He acts like I did something. What did I do? He spoke while taking another puff. Boy, try your balance breaker for him. Let me see it. He told me to go into his balance breaker. Okay. Welt's Dragon, balance breaker! I donned my armor. Sun Wukong nodded his head and pointed at my tail. Can you move it? Yeah, sure. I wheeled my tail around and seeing that he nodded again. There you go. Now try sitting on it. If you can move it, you can sit on it. Try it. Okay. I'm not trying to do this though. Just put it under me. Remember, partner. When being trained by someone else, a good part of its observation, observe, then try it yourself. Observe? You mean like copy a stance? I think I can do that. I put my tail on the ground. Now just jump and I fell on my butt. Ow. Sun Wukong-sama sighed as he stroked his beard. It looks like you didn't put any strength into it. Ironic. But I thought I was. Control, boy. You have to keep your strength concentrated in it while you're doing it. The reason it gave up under you is because you're too conscious of it. You have to think of it as part of another limb. It is part of you, no? The armor is essentially your body. Don't you also feel that way about your wings? Actually, Drake is the one who controls my wings. He puffed out a large cloud of smoke as if to laugh. That's truly unacceptable. You have much to learn, young boy. Yes, much to learn. Yet somehow I find it interesting that you have all this power without proper control. Imagine someone like you having such levels of control as great as his power. For the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor to have such a fundamental flaw, yet so much power. Forgive me if I start to become passionate, my boy. Those with high potential are the most interesting. He smirked from under his sunglasses. Drake, how brutal do you think this training will be? It depends on your enthusiasm. If you have as much enthusiasm as he does, it will certainly be the greatest training experience you will have. If not, it may be quite confusing. So be confident? Perhaps. Alright, bring it on, old monkey. Even though I said a very disrespectful nickname without thinking, Sun Wukong just laughed heartedly. That's the spirit, my boy. Let's enjoy ourselves, shall we? And just like that, my training with the first generation Sun Wukong from Journey to the West began. Part 3. What the hell was that? I was lying on the ground while looking up at the sky. Well, at the very least, you were able to get a feel of control around your armor. We'll expand on that further by leaving the control your aura. That should be a precursor to getting control of your powers. Sun Wukong says, while sitting on his tail in a relaxed manner, the entire day all we did was practice while I was inside my armor. The practice, however, was just, control. All this time I was never able to control my wings. Drake was. It was because I've had such low demonic power that I could never control my devil wings. So I never learned to fly. That's why I have no idea how to control my dragon wings. I just left it up to Drag. Sun Wukong-sama said it was unacceptable. It was kind of the same with my tail. I never really learned how to use it for any reason. So I didn't really think of it as a limb. I didn't have much control outside moving it around. So basically, if you couldn't guess, today was all about learning how to control my armor as if it was my own body. Sun Wukong-sama said that feel it like skin. He says that while I'm donning my armor, I should treat it like it was my own body. Like how the boosted gear is really just my arm. I'm not gonna lie to you. The fact that the boosted gear is actually part of my body made it a lot easier for me to treat the armor like my body. I just had to feel that it was the same throughout. Needless to say, the amount of focus I need to do all this without prior experience has really tuckered me out. I guess I'm just that stupid. Well, we'll continue this tomorrow. From there, I think I just want to see you control your own base strength. If the control is weak, then we'll continue this tomorrow. From there, I think I wanted to see how your control is own base strength. If the control is weak, then we'll fix that. We only have a week. You are known for growing fast, aren't you? Let's see how many lessons you can master before our time's up. Lastly, don't try anything further without my lessons on your own. No pushing your body past what I say. Part of control is taking breaks in between lessons the proper way. I don't want you to push. If you push yourself too far, you will only bounce back where you started. He says while puffing smoke and walking away. Huh? Sun Wukong-sama, where are you going? He waved back as he continued walking off. I will find the jade brat before he gets into some trouble. Don't train beyond what we've done. Relax until my return tomorrow. He then left with just those words. I was left there, alone. Huh? Hello? Is anyone there? Somebody? I was wandering around the castle in complete confusion. It was already evening by Sun Wukong-sama's left. He had left me alone in the forest to wander out by myself. I finally found a way and made it into the castle, but then I got lost. The place is too big, wide, and to find my way around, I was led by Sun Wukong-sama, so I have no idea how to get back on my own or even where to go in the first place. So now I'm wandering around like a lost child. Ah, Issei-sama, there you are. I saw the Sun Wukong had left and you were nowhere to be seen. Out of nowhere, someone appeared behind me. Yakuza-san. Oh, whoa, Yakuza-san, thank goodness you're here. I was so lost. I was approached by Yakuza-san while shedding unrealistically big tears. However, the unexpected happened. She pulled me into her chest and patted my head lightly. Now, this isn't something a man should cry over, right? Come on, I'll show you to your room. Oh, bye. Come on. I followed Yakuza-san robotically while she led me by the hand. My brain wasn't working, so I didn't even realize she was holding my hand. Ah, it's the Oppai dragon. We were walking through a couple of hards, the large, exquisite, very federal Japan-looking castle. I had heard what sounded like children's voices from nearby. Oppai dragon, zoom, zoom, man. Suddenly, there was a small group of children surrounding me. Ah, they're little fox girls. Ah, that's right. Neko and Cute City guys are like super rare, aren't they? Ah, but the Oppai dragons even has girl fans after all. Whoa, hey there, girls. I wasn't sure how to greet them as they jumped excitedly around me. Somehow I felt guilty that even the girls have been influenced by my character. Now, girls. Oppai Dragon has had a long day. He needs his rest, so act properly, okay? Yes, the girls answered Yakuza-san in unison. Wait, why are there random children running around this castle? Yakuza-san, how come, Yakuza-san giggled and waved her hand around. Oh, no, not these children. These children happen to be the children of those who serve me within the castle. There are some servants of mine that had children, so these are them. The children of her servants? So they just hang out here? Oh no, they live here, of course, just like their parents. Huh? Live here? You mean your servants live in a place like this along with their children? Mm-hmm, that's right. I scratched my head at a concept. If you don't mind me asking, how come you have your servants live here? Well, there are many of my servants that did not have homes that were coming to serve me. I do not believe it is acceptable for those to serve me as homeless. That's why they are allowed to shelter here as long as they serve me. Of course, even if they choose to no longer serve me, they will receive assistance to find their own homes. Some have criticized me for this, but I feel it's something that's fair. Those who work shall eat. Besides, it will only be lonely with just Kano and I here. I suppose someone who is familiar with Devil Society finds me odd, right, Issei-san? What? Such an explanation. What compassion. No, that's not weird at all. It's amazing. The fact that Kyubi-sama is such a kind and beautiful woman, it's amazing to believe. Yakuza-san giggled at my reaction. Huh, you flatter me. Though an old woman like me is not the one that you should be chasing after, Issei-san. Old? No way. Yakuza-san is more beautiful than most of all the young girls I've ever seen. Oof. Thank you for that, Issei. But what I meant by that is that I'm not the one you should be complimenting. She giggled while peering off to the staircase. I could vaguely make out a yellow whip past it. Ah, could that be R? While I was holding up While I was looking up a staircase, I felt a random gaze from somewhere. I looked around and my eyes landed on a certain corner. I could see a little head sticking out, or white here and light blue color mixed in it. Oh, so little ears. Ah, it's a Neko child. Is she shy? I tried calling out to her. Hey there, little one. Little one, no need to be afraid. The head tucked itself back in quickly. Ah, I should have expected that. Why did I even try? Yakuza-san took notice of the child. Ah, that child is a bit shy. Ryosuke, come out now. Don't be shy. Ryosuke, this child walked out slowly from the corner. It's a boy? It's actually a little Neko boy. Whoa, isn't that like super rare? Yakuza-san walked up and picked up the boy. He looks to be around 4 years old. He had a shy attitude and held his little thumb against his mouth cutely as if he was always nervous. This is Ryosuke. He is 4 years old, and in case you didn't know, boys like him are very rare amongst our species. Our race practically has to rely on reproducing with other races to prosper. Also, out of all the children born from our race, tend to be women. So being an outlier to this situation, he is quite shy. Currently, there are only 5 living males like him, 2 of those being adults, one of them being a teenage years, and Ryosuke being a child, and the last one has not yet been born. But the mother is quite far along in her pregnancy and will most likely give birth soon. Whoa, no way. So he's super rare after all. It's kind of like Konako-chan said. The males are extremely rare. 5 of them, huh? Are all 5 of them purebreds or something? I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's alright. Believe it or not, that's how we refer to them ourselves. However, in terms of purity, only one of them happens to be pure Nekomata all the way through. That would be Kaijimo, the teenager. The other half human, half yokai. Ryosuke is half human and half Nekomata. I see. I don't get it too much, but as I thought, he's a super rare one, huh? Ryosuke is a special little boy, right, Ryosuke? The boy named Ryosuke just shyly placed his head over Yakuza's shoulder to hide from me. Looks like he's a bit afraid of me, huh? I asked Yakuza something about something I was curious to hear. So earlier you said there was a teenager who was all Nekomata. Does that mean he has 2 Nekomata parents? Indeed. He's an extremely rare case. Even amongst rare cases, practically impossible. The odds of him being born were 1 in several million, at least. Whoa, holy that is pretty damn rare. Even though I don't know much about the yokai, that certainly has to be some crazy odds. So there's a guy like that, huh? A teenager? I wonder if he's my age or something. Oddly enough, Kaijimo was nothing more than a coincidence. One of the adult Nekomatas happens to have many mates, one of whom being full female Nekomata. That was one he ended up with having Kaijimo with. Multiple mates. So he has like a lot of wives or something? Well, mates. You see, considering that male Nekomata are so rare, it is not unlikely for female Nekomata to flock to them in hopes of breeding more purebred Nekomata, especially since male Nekomata seem to have a higher chance of giving birth to another male. So, as a result, the male happens to have many mates. He was truly blessed by fortune to end up producing another male with a full-blooded female Nekomata. Otherwise, Kaijimo might have been born half Nekomata and half something else. Regardless, the male Nekomata are treasured presents either way. So it is possible that Kaijimo, or the boy like Ryosuke, would end up having many mates as well. Thud. I suddenly lost the power of my legs and fell to my knees. What is wrong, Issei-sama? These boys, they are natural-born harem kings. The teenager who is near my age, that bastard, he has already surpassed me. Opie Dragon. I heard a little voice. The boy? He spoke. No. All of the children are looking at me in worry. I shot back up. I'm okay. Opie Dragon's okay. The children smiled. Ryosuke still seemed shy. Yakuza-san patted his head and smiled. Now let's go to your room, Issei-san. I'm sure that it's been a long day. I followed Yakuza-san once more, and the children inexplicably closely behind as well, and she led me up the staircase to another floor. She led me down a few halls and in front of the sliding door to a room. The moment she opened, I was met with an exquisitely designed feudal Japan-like room with a nice bed, though it was on a floor. Whoa! This is my room? Indeed it is. No way, this is too nice. This room has multiple sliding doors in it alone. It has multiple rooms large. This can't be it, right? Why would you give such an amazing room to me? She raised a brow teasingly. This is an odd accommodation for the hero who saved me from terrorists. Oh, well, I didn't mean... Well, I hardly did anything. Nonsense. Protecting my daughter and fighting for the sake of saving me despite having the right to refuse. That alone is enough. I would prefer if you allowed me to indulge you. Well that's... sorry. Why? I ended up unconsciously apologizing. Such a kind woman. And to believe the first thing I thought of asking her was from the crisis was to touch her breast. What a scumbag. What is the meaning of such a defeated look? Is there something not to your liking? No, that's not it. It just, I don't deserve this. Yakuza-san shook her head. I don't know what compels you to have such an opinion, but I certainly disagree. There are many others who disagree as well, most especially my own daughter. She turned to leave. Please let one of my servants know if there's something you need. They will bring you your dinner soon. I will be the west wing across the staircase. This is where Kanoa, my room, is located. I hope you enjoy your stay. Come now, children. Let's leave the Red Dragon Emperor to rest. Yakuza-san walked out of the room with the children closely following. I was left alone in the room. I lied in bed without being able to sleep. It's only been a couple hours since I came to this room, and it's technically early, but it's like I haven't had anything else to do, right? Dump. I heard a light stomping outside my door. It kind of sounded like somebody tripped. I got up and walked to the door. When I opened it and peered out, there was no one there, but I saw something zip past the corner, a little form. I walked a little slowly and looked over the railing to the staircase. There was a couple small forms that ran into the dark corners downstairs. I couldn't help but smirk. I spoke loudly while walking casually down the steps. Oh, I could have sworn there was something outside my door. What could it have been? I reached the bottom of the staircase. I could vaguely make out small figures around the corner. I walked slowly to it without approaching it. The moment I passed, I could see something moving under the cloth of a curtain. Could it be? Could it be? There is something here. I pulled the curtain back. There was 2 little girls hiding behind it. I found you, girls. Ah! They both squealed in amusement as I stood over them with my claws in the air. You better run, otherwise a big scary red dragon is going to eat you. Ah! They both ran in a certain direction away from me with their smiles on their faces. Ah, he's coming. Run, run. Hide, hide. Out of nowhere, all of the children from before suddenly appeared and they started running in different directions to hide. Oh, the scary dragon's favorite meal is little girls like you. Itodakimasu. After that, I practically ran off, scaring off the little girls from their hiding spots to run in different directions, while acting like a big scary monster. For 30 minutes, honestly, what am I even doing? I'm gonna eat you. I scared another girl from her spot, and she quickly ran from me excitedly. As soon as I got up to chase her, she ended up running into another girl in front of her. Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Why were you running? The girl helped onto her feet. The one she bumped into was Kano. Kano lifted her gaze to me after helping the girl. I froze in place. Issei? I had nothing to say. Nissan, run! The big scary dragon will eat us, the little girl said while pulling Kano's sleeve. Kano looked at me curiously. I slowly lifted up my hands and squeeze, squeeze. I made a groping gesture. Kano smiled in confusion. A devilish grin grew onto my face. The red dragon's favorite meal is little girls like you. Issei? She took a step back fearfully. Itodakimasu! Kano immediately started running away in fear with the girl at her side. I couldn't hold myself from laughing as I chased them. Where are you going, little princess? Issei, please calm down. I paused in my chase. I could see a head poking from the corner. I peered over as I thought it was little Ryosuke. I bent down to his level. Do you want to play with us? He nodded his head meekly after a few seconds while holding his thumb against his mouth like usual. He must not have many friends that are boys, so he must feel lonely. I smiled. Okay then. I picked him up and placed him on my shoulders. Alright then, the red dragon comes out with a new ally. It's double for the trouble. It's double the trouble! The girls immediately began revealing themselves, yelling in shock. No way, there's 2! They morphed! Super Sentai Rangers morphing! We'll be eaten by legendary creatures! Without even hesitating, I ended up playing hide and seek with a bunch of random kids in the middle of the night. XD. Alright. Let's see how you control your body. It was the next day, early morning. I was in the forest with Sun Wukong-sama again. To be honest with you, I'm kind of sleepy. I ended up playing with the kids last night until it got caught by Yakuza-san. Though she giggled at it, she was told that it was past the bedtime and we had to end our play session. She also teased her daughter until her face burned like red strawberries. Now I'm getting into more control training with Sun Wukong-sama. Apparently it's control over my own body. My body? You mean my base form? Sun Wukong-sama nodded. That's right. First off, try using Rook to smash into the ground below you. Don't use any of your powers, just use your fist. He tells me to promote my Rook in my base and strike the ground without boosting or balance breaker? Alright. Promotion Rook! I promoted Rook without using any of my powers. Now, strike the ground below you. I listened to his instruction and lifted my arm into the ground. I brought my fist down with all my might, and doom! My fist crashed into the ground. The ground cracked around me for around 17 meters. Whoa, wait, was my strength always like this? Sun Wukong-sama rubbed his chin. As I thought. Great power, but little control. Alright, in that case, Sun Wukong-sama puffed up some more smoke from his pipe and blew out of his mouth, but the smoke was overly thick compared to a normal stroke. That is Senjutsu. Phew. He blew out some crazy smoke and then began to take multiple forms. Forms shaped kind of like people. Smoke jutsu? Smoke clones? Alright, try attacking one of those. He told me to attack a clone. Alright, I jumped the smoke clone closest to me and punched it. It immediately dispersed into nothing. Poof! Yes, now try blowing a hole through one of them's stomachs without causing it to disappear. Huh? You mean put a hole through one of them without making them disappear from force? Exactly. He nodded. I moved to another smoke clone and radiated my fist. I threw my fist into the abdominal area. It immediately dispersed again. Poof! It looks like I wasn't able to do it. Sun Wukong Sung puffed more smoke and sat up on his tail. Alright, think about sending all of your strength into your punch, concentrate on landing on a certain point, and think about pulling it back and aiming it at the spot. But, make sure not to actually pull it back. He gave me instructions which sounded like he was trying to dumb it down for me. I'm sorry I'm stupid in these new concepts. Anyway, I tried following his instructions as best as I could. All of the strength, concentrated on one point. Pull back without pulling back. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom! I did it. I made a hole through one of their stomachs by following Sun Wukong's instructions without making the clones disappear. Ooh. Woohoo! Only after one try, so this is ridiculous growth of a god-killing Red Dragon Emperor in action. Oh, yes, this is certainly interesting. We may have more techniques we can fit into our time than I thought we would. Good. You know the feeling of holding massive amounts of power. Let's have you learn to control it, in forever. Show me how you speed through lessons, the red boy. We continued our lessons to the day. All of the lessons were similar. Despite having to rely on the same principle, they ended up teaching me about controlling different parts of my body at a time. First, we started with my arms and smoke clones, destroying various parts of the clones with bodies without causing them to disperse entirely. Considering my punches are main line of offense, it was probably the most important lesson. I began to gradually become accustomed to the concept of pinpointing strikes and concentrating certain amounts of power in each punch. All of this time, I just thought about punching with all strength, half strength and no strength, but I never thought about very specific amounts. Fortunately or unfortunately, it was a lesson I had to learn the hard way in order to progress. I began to feel the necessary amount of strength needed to put into clones to make certain parts that were weaker and others disappear without destroying them fully. The impact felt real people because of Sun Wukong-sama reinforcing them with this senjutsu. Thanks to this lesson, I was beginning to gain what felt like a lot of precise control over my arms. It got even crazier when Sun Wukong-sama stepped up and began to make me get even more precise by trying to concentrate my power into my fingers and repeat the process. After that, we moved on to my legs. He tested me out by having me smash the ground, similar to my first test. Then he had me jumping. Basically, he had me concentrate my legs into a power jump similar to the ones I did when I fought Atlas. I wasn't sure if it was possible without his power, but he said as long as my legs have the strength, they can build power. So, I did some power jumps and ended up cracking the ground below upon launch and impact from the landing. He was essentially said that we allow the same concept as before, but at the time on my legs, this test was honestly much harder, just like Sun Wukong-sama said. Because I had to factor out my momentum, velocity, and or our gravity as factors, there were some times that I had to accept that it wasn't much I could do about the impact itself because of my momentum. But that was part of the lesson. It taught me how to marginalize my concentrated power properly. The next part of the lesson was a bit incomprehensible. It was centered around shockwaves. Sun Wukong said that I had enough power in my strikes to send shockwaves. I understand that. What put a nail in my head was when he said we were going to concentrate on focusing the power of my strikes to send purposeful shockwaves to certain targets with varying degrees of power. That had to be the hardest part to get down and took the longest while to master. I say master with quotations because I don't feel like I've mastered those concepts 100%. But Sun Wukong-sama said that all that mattered was that I understood how they worked and what they felt like. Because as the lessons went on, it would become an instinct that I would implement into lessons that didn't even require it. So basically, he said I could master it and naturally says so constantly once I've learned it. At first, I found it unbelievable, but before I knew it, I noticed at the times I would be practicing his techniques without even realizing it. The training of control over my body even reached the point of using my fingers. Say, Red Boy, do you recall the time here in Kyoto when I stopped the Longinus Brat Spear with just this finger? He mentioned the index finger he held up. I nodded my head vigorously. I certainly do remember that. After just fighting Ko, it's something I could never forget. He puffed some smoke. I want you to try stopping my staff with 2 of your fingers. Hold them up. Huh? I can't do that. There's no way. That's what I wanted to say, but I don't want him to think less of me. Whew, okay, let's do it. I lifted my arm and held out 2 fingers to point in his direction. He lifted up his staff casually and pointed it at me. Extend staff! Boo! At that moment, the staff extended in a second. It sped straight towards my fingers as I concentrated up holding against it. Unfortunately, the staff easily pushed my fingers back, and my entire hand all the way back near to my face. Oh, that's enough there. If I had gone further, you would have broken your fingers. Or rather, your entire arm. Alright, first time is a fail. That's fine. We'll continue doing it until you reach the control level to focus proper amount of power into each finger. Get ready. We're going again. Oh, the rest of the day continued with a similar regimen. Control, control, control. That's what all the training boils down to. Controlling the power I have, focusing into it whatever I have. Aiming concentrated amounts of power into striking boulders and splitting them perfectly in half. Using shot waves to blow all the leaves of trees without damaging them. Stopping Sun Wukong-sama's staff with my broken fingers after 50 tries. All about control. And of course, that lasted up until evening. Good. Progress today as well. Take a rest. Tomorrow I will be returning a bit later in the morning so you can rest easy. Yes, sir. I answered him in an exhausted voice as I laid on the ground. Sun Wukong-sama walked away while muttering to himself about the mischievous green brat. Ugh, drag. Am I even getting stronger? In terms of power, you don't seem to be increasing substantially. However, the lessons you are learning on control are irreplaceable. With every lesson taught, I feel improvement in your technique. This is vital training, partner. Do not neglect it. Right. By the way, you sound like you've been happy mood lately. You haven't asked for your medicine in a while. Are you doing all right? Huh. Drag? We are the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor, partner. I have no need for such worthless remedies. Oh, so at least you do feel better. Haha. I decided to ignore Drag and head back into the castle. It was a bit difficult to find my way, but I wasn't lost like yesterday. Thanks to Kano and chasing the children around the night, I am now familiar with around half the castle grounds. Hopefully she'll get to show me more tomorrow. Issei, there you are. Up ahead of me, I could see Kano quickly approaching. Oh, hey, Kano. She grabbed on my arm and started pulling me somewhere. Come on. Something important is happening. Come on, you have to see. Wait, what? What's happening? Come on. I followed through the castle as she pulled me. I could hear for what sounded like an infant's cries as we continued. She led me to a room on the first floor. It had the double door. She burst in without hesitation. Excuse me, Kano, what did I say about coming in quiet? Yakuza-san paused when she saw me. We were in the room with a large bed with what looked like nurses around it. There was a woman sitting on the bed with a bundle in her arms. Yakuza smiled and greeted me. Issei-san, you were here at the perfect time. The baby has just been delivered. Baby? Yakuza-san walked to the woman's bedside. The woman gently handed Yakuza the bundle, and she held it in her arms. It was a little Nekomata baby. That's a baby boy? Was said to be born soon. That woman just gave birth to him? Hello, little one. Yakuza wiggled her finger in front of the baby's nose slightly. He remained curled up in his bundle with his eyes closed and little hands sticking out, but the little red ears on his head flicked in reaction to her movements. Looks like he's asleep still. Kano walked closer, and Yakuza held the baby near her level. Kano looked at the little baby in amusement as he slept. Kano poked his nose lightly and his ears flicked. Oh, he's so cute. Yakuza-san smiled as her daughter looked at the baby stars in her eyes. Her gaze suddenly switched to me. Issei-san, huh? She motioned for me to get closer. Me? She nodded her head. I approached hesitantly. The moment I leaned in to look at the baby, a cute little baby boy with red hair and red little feline ears. Would you like to hold him? Yakuza-san asked me that, but I waved my hands frantically. No, not someone like me. I couldn't possibly. Is it all right if he holds him? Yes, of course, please, Yakuza-san asked the mother as she nodded her head as she found it to be an honor. Issei-san. Yakuza smiled and held the baby out for a bit to me to hold. I hesitated, but slowly reached out for the baby with both arms. The baby was slowly placed into my arms, and I held onto it as gently as I could. For some reason, my heart was beating extremely fast. Hey, little guy. I smirked nervously while holding him. He was so light and small, his little red ears flicked on his head as if he was listening. A baby. This is a baby boy. I've never held one before. Hi. I imitated Yakuza-san's earlier action and wiggled my finger near the baby's nose. His ears flicked, but slide. My world stopped. The baby had wrapped his little hand around my finger and held onto it tightly. Issei? I could hear Kano call out to me in the silence. Droplets of water fell onto the floor below me. My vision was blurred by something. I brought my fingers up to my eyes. I was crying. I quickly wiped my face and returned the baby to its mother. I'm sorry. Issei? I walked out without looking back. I was lying on the bed of my room and silently looking off at nothing ahead of me. Partner? I'm all right, Drake. I'm okay. I don't know what came over me. It just reminded me of the devil children for some reason, and I don't know. It just happened without me wanting it to. Knock, knock. I heard a light knocking. The only one who opened my door slightly was Kano. Issei, are you all right? Ah, Kano. Yeah, I'm all right. Just a bit tired. She fidgeted a bit before asking me something shyly. There's a celebration going on for the birth. Would you like to join us? I don't know, Kano. And before I continued, I could see a few head pokes on my doorway. Ah, it's those little girls I played with. They were looking at me expectantly. Ah, girls, is the Oppai dragon coming? Is the Oppai dragon okay? They were whispering to each other curiously. I saw another familiar little head. That's Oppai dragon? It's little Ryosuke. He's holding his thumb at me with shy gaze. So he wants me to come out too, huh? Well, if you look at me like that, how am I supposed to say no? The children smiled as I brought myself out of bed. I ended up joining Kano and the others in celebration of the baby's birth. The celebration was actually bigger than I initially thought. My first assumption was true. We're having a little party of food and drink, and some of the room where we first relax and a bunch of official goals, just like yesterday. However, there was also the entire celebration for Mario going on in the capital. Everywhere around you could see Nekomata/Magari yokai celebrating and selling items at the shops for half price. It was an odd sight, but somehow it was heartwarming. It resembled a festival, honestly. So right now, I'm in a similar situation to the other day, being around by drinking and laughing officials, but this time there are servants and residents in the castle joining us. I was sitting with Kano on my right, Yakuza-san on my left, and a few children sitting all around me. A couple of them were sitting against my side as they ate. One of them was sitting on my lap, and Ryosuke was eating silently on top of my shoulders. The officials around joked in their drunk sport. Ha! To believe! The fifth was born so closely after the fourth. Who would have thought that they would be birthing so quickly after another? Next thing you know, we'll be facing the sixth in less than 3 years' time. Indeed, who knows? The new age might have started. The age of male Nekomata, baby booners. Ha ha ha. The large group of men laughed heartily as they toasted their drinks. Suddenly, they began to stand up and file out. Ah, let us go visit Magari Shrine. Surely they have having a celebration there. Yes, yes. Perhaps they have opened a venue for a show. The men began filling out. The people left in the majority of female servants and their children around me. The female servants began picking up after the mess that was made. Ah, you can have all a break today. Go ahead and enjoy yourselves at the festival you liked. We'll take care of the children. The servants glanced at each other with uncertainty. Their eyes landed on me. I tried to avoid eye contact, so I awkwardly ate some food that was fed to me by one of the little girls. I could see them smiling at each other before they filed out as well. I guess they're fine with leaving the kids up to me? They shouldn't be. I'm not hungry anymore. I want to play. The girl on my lap jumped excitedly. The other kids around me looked up expectantly. Even Kano was looking at me in the corner of her eye. Well, that's too bad. I really am still hungry. Very, very hungry. Ah! The girls immediately began running over me as I lifted up my arms. Even Kano ran out with them. I brought Ryosuke off my shoulders. Okay, Ryosuke, you're my eyes and ears. Bring their locations to me and we will catch them together. Go! Little Ryosuke ran off with a blank expression in the same direction where the girls went. Ha! He ran off the way a superhero does. I sat there a bit and waited for his return silently. Yakuza-san sipped her tea. Are you alright, Issei-san? I smiled brightly while averting my gaze. Yeah, looks like she's asking about what happened before. I did not expect you to have such a reaction. Was something that happened to trigger it? I fled, my eyelids increased in weight as my expression became sullen. I looked in front of me distantly as if there was something there, but it was just a wall. I just couldn't help but think all of the devil Trojan who look up to me in the underworld. Even though they love me, I've been such a bad influence. But even more than that, I couldn't help but drink the fact that there are terrorists out there who aim to extinguish such existences. Something so pure and insignificant. I was born human, but now I'm a devil and a dragon host. I am all of these things, but I don't think that changes me in the way they think it should. If anything, I was worse as just a human. But above all that, when I was holding on to that baby, I couldn't help but think. I could see the devil children smiling in front of me. They were standing beside humans and even yokai. Aren't we all the same? Suddenly I felt soft hands land on my head, and I was brought into a gentle embrace of Yakuza's bosom. Poof. I no longer have any doubts. That was all Yakuza-san said as she held onto my head with the sweetest smile I had ever seen. Even though I was between her breasts, the only thing I could think about was the gentle feeling of motherhood cast over me. I could feel my heart lighten in peace for my mind and myself. We stayed that way for a couple minutes until Yakuza-san released me and stroked my cheek. What a sweet boy. Kano should hurry up and grow faster, otherwise you'll be snatched away by the other candidates. I don't mean myself, of course, although I certainly wouldn't mind if it was a man such as yourself. I could only scratch the back of my head bashfully while Yakuza-san leaned against my shoulder and teasingly. Who knew that the QB was so flirtatious? I suddenly had an idea, a devilish idea. Yakuza-san, she sat back in her original position casually. What is it? I grew a devilish smile. Do you happen to know what the Red Dragon's favorite meal is? She tilted her head curiously. Pardon? I lifted my hands and made a groping gesture. Little girls have always been the Red Dragon's favorite, but the mature ones are always more plump and juicy. Whoa, pause. She smiled nervously. Issei, are you alright? Yakuza-san, did you know? As long as you find the right spot, that all girls are a bit... Yeep! Yakuza's son squealed, and I suddenly grabbed onto her bare foot with my fingers. She pulled away immediately. My smile grew darker, ticklish. She began scooting away bit by bit with her fearful smile. Issei, you can't possibly... A gorgeous, mature Kyuubi-sama, a role ripe for the taking. Issei-san, that's something you shouldn't be playing with kids, not someone like me. An old woman like me is 9 fluffy tails, 9 spots for tickling. Issei-sama? And she started to get tickled. Yakuza-san instantly started running around the room as I chased her. We circled the table, and I occasionally poked at her sides when I got close. Issei-san, wait, stop! Kyuubi-san, where are you going? The red dragon is still hungry. Issei-san, that is enough. I am a grown woman. You should be chasing after the children, not me. Wasn't it you who said it would accommodate your hero? Come on, the hero is hungry, so won't you feed him? Ah, no, stay away. I am a lady. There is no way for a lady to act. That would be all over if you just proved to me you weren't ticklish. How about that, huh? Can you prove it to me? This is ridiculous. I am the leader of the East Yokai faction. I have no obligation to prove anything to you. Caught you. Oh, those are some interesting noises you're making, Yakuza-san. Could it be that Kyuubi-sama is actually a naughty girl on the inside? Don't say such things. Let go of my sides, please. I beg you, Red Dragon Emperor. Oh my god, what is this? Before the might, God-slaying Red Dragon Emperor. Just as I was tickling Yakuza-san's stomach on the floor from behind. Quite a suggestive position, now that I think about it. I ended up being interrupted by children at the entrance. The Red Dragon is attacking Yakuza-san. Save Yakuza-sama. Wait, guys, hold on. I was suddenly dogpiled and attacked by a bunch of kids. Save Yakuza-sama. Take down the Red Dragon. No. Wait, children, we were just playing. It's alright, let him go. Yakuza-san was able to convince the children to let me go. I was let face down on the floor like a dead body. Issei-san, are you alright? Even though my face was mushed to the floor, I spoke clearly. It seems that my prey have brought themselves to me. All of the girls run away as I shot up in a maniacal laugh. The Red Dragon has a feast to attend to. The girls all filed out in the room while squealing. Yakuza-san let out a sigh of relief and fixed their hair a bit. I stirred over her with some devilish grin. Her smile twitched nervously. You can't be serious. And just like that, I spent a whole night chasing little girls, the Kyuubi and her daughter around the entire castle relentlessly. I suppose that makes me sound like a criminal, doesn't it? I have no defense. Part 4. Knock, knock. The next morning, I received a knock on my door. The one who knocked was Kano. Now that you have an extra little time this morning, would you like to go out and explore the capital with me? I gladly accepted. Of course. And that brought a smile to her face. Kano led me through the capital with great enthusiasm. She took me sightseeing to many hotspots like shrines and shops with different things in them, a bit like we were in normal Kyoto, but a lot of the places were more absurd and filled with exotic looking things. Kano stopped us and we were walking in a market area with multiple shops side by each other. Are you hungry? I'll get some fried nightmare eyes. I flinched. Fried nightmare eyes? She pointed to a shop that was selling nightmares on a stick. Those are things that I saw at the abandoned castle when I found Medusa. The big eyes and bat wings. Bleh, they eat those? Would you like some? Kano looked at me with sparkling eyes. Yeah, sure. Okay. Kano ran off excitedly to get some nightmares on a stick. Oh, I don't want to eat them, but if it's for Kano's sake. Opie Dragon. A child suddenly began running up to me. Hey, little one. Before I could even pat her on the head, she reached me. No, don't get near him. She pulled away by her mother. Her mother whispered to her, you can't go near him. He is dangerous, understand? But why? Okay, because he's a dangerous existence. You can't be getting near something like him, understand? I'm sorry, she doesn't know what she's doing. I hope she didn't bother you. The mother apologized to me with a weak smile. I could feel the genuine fear in her eyes. Why? I'm sorry, partner. This is something that simply takes place when something so drastic has been done. A god-killing existence like yourself casually strolling through the capital streets? Even though the majority of people look to you without animosity, there will always be a fraction that will gaze upon you in fear. I felt my hand slowly lower my side. No, it's all right. I turned to walk away while holding my hand down to mask my expression. I could feel the painful smile on my face. Why? Why does it hurt? How pathetic. Honey, something grabbed into my leg. I looked down and saw a little girl hugging onto me. She looked at me with a sad pout. Don't be sad. Come on now. We shouldn't bother him. He's busy, right? Excuse us. The mother pulled her daughter and walked away. To believe I found joy in To believe that I found joy in reputation of yours previously. I didn't consider your feelings, partner. How ironic. Forgive me for failing as a partner. No, I failed you at first. This is just a taste of my own medicine, Issei said. Issei? I turned around. Kano was there with a kebab-looking food. Oh, are you alright? I smiled. Yep, and we continued on our excursion. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only incident like that. When we entered another restaurant, there was the owner who was Oni Ora that didn't want to serve us. No, me. I will serve the princess without issue. I won't serve him. The large Oni said that while crossing his arms. A younger-looking Oni, son, most likely his son, pulled his sleeve while whispering. Oji Kasura, are you insane? He's a god killer. This guy could kill us in a second. If he does that, then he's only proving my point. You want to bet our lives on that? Yes. For an existence like him, who is known for extinguishing such important figures, I don't support him being near the Kyubi-sama. If it is for the sake of the Kyubi-sama, then it's a sake for Kyoto as well. So that's why I'd bet my life to prove this point. Kano stood up from her seat. Such insolence! How dare you treat the hero who saved Kyoto in such a way? I'm afraid that I did not witness such an event. The Oni narrowed his eyes suspiciously. Kano flinched. That's right. The event of Yakuza-san's kidnapping was not public information. It was kept under wraps in order to avoid an uproar at the time. Only those affiliated with her and the official knows of such a thing, not an average inhabitant. Regardless of what he may have considered in the eyes of the princess, he is an unpredictable existence. We don't know what he is capable of, and I do not support the idea of having him walk so leisurely through our streets in the Kyubi-sama's presence. That is all. I see. Let's go, Kano. I stood on my seat while facing away from them. What? Issei, we can't just leave. You don't deserve this treatment. Hear me. Be my order as a princess, I command you. Kano. I interrupted her as she could continue. This is his establishment. He should have the right to deny anyone he wants. If I'm not wanted here, then that's all there is to it. I could hear some little voices in the background. Mama, why is the Opie dragon getting kicked out? I don't want to eat here anymore. There were a few children complaining about the situation. I would have hoped we left without incident. I don't want to cause trouble. Kano walked to my side and held my hands as we were beginning to leave. She pointed straight at the Oni. Listen here. I don't care what you have to say about Issei. Just know that when the time comes, even if you treat him this way, he will still protect you. That's because he is the type of man he is. What happens, you can apologize to him. And even if I don't agree with it, he will forgive you. Because he is that type of man. The god-killing Red Dragon Emperor or not. He is not a danger to anyone here, especially children. Issei is not a murderer. Issei is the gentle Red Dragon Emperor. That's enough, Kano. I interrupted her before she could continue. At that time, I didn't know why I had reacted immediately the moment she spoke those words, but my subconscious did. Those words were not hers alone. You had once said that to me before, hadn't you, Konako-chan? I turned to her with a pained smile as I kept my eyes shut, most likely to prevent anything from falling out of them. Let's just go, yeah? Okay. Kano and I stepped forward to walk out. However, the voice of the Oni stopped us. Wait. We stopped. I peered over my shoulder without revealing my face. There was no longer any animosity in his expression. Instead, he looked at me with a solemn understanding. I've seen this expression before. He brought out a notepad for taking orders. That's enough for me. Kano smiled up at me. I let out a sigh in absolute relief. I didn't know what I held. So, what can I get you? Does this place like this even have udon? The Oni smirked. We'll see what we can courage up. Get back into the kitchen, boy. Yeah, Kochi-san. Shh, Dad. Thankfully, the second incident felt less heavier than the first. Breathe slowly. That same day, I was back in the forest with Sung Wukong-sama. This time, I'm sitting and meditating while Sung Wukong-sama gives me instructions. Apparently, today, we're working on my aura. He says, part of controlling my power is to have a good control over the base of my power, which is my aura. Though I have low demonic energy and as a result weak demonic aura, he says, I have a great amount of dragon aura, or aura of the dragon. Since I'm a devil, my main source of power outside my body is meant to be my demonic power, but the only true for the bishop promotion. In my rook or knight promotion, there is really no need for demonic power since I just boost myself. Sun Wukong says, outside of boosting, I'm neglecting my dragon power. He says that it's possible to lessen the damage and effects suffered by the holy elements if I were to have high potency of dragon power overpowering my demonic power. That's already the case because of how low my demonic power is, but he says if I can gain control over my power and aura directly, then I can use it to defend against elements much easier. He even says that one day I could become proficient enough using it so that inside my armor I could practically receive no damage from almost all holy elements, and that would be great because if my dragon power is large enough to keep holy elements from affecting me inside my armor, then as long as I don't break the armor, I would essentially be invincible. You are distracted, boy. Focus. Ah, right. Sorry. I shut my eyes and concentrated my aura around my body. Whew. I took deep breaths. Good. Now maintain control over your aura at all times. Don't lose focus over any outside interferences. I listened to instructions to help the aura around my body calmly. I felt something lightly tap my head. That is the bottom of his staff? No, wait. Focus. Don't worry about it. Just focus. I could feel the aura around my body begin to fluctuate. Did he use senjutsu to disrupt the flow? Wait, it feels like it's growing. It's getting bigger. Oh no, it's starting to get out of control. My focus. Control. I've never thought about being able to control if he went rampant like this. I always moved according to my emotions. If I ever came off my body, it's just because my emotions overcame me. I don't even know how to control it. Control, boy. This aura is yours, is it not? Yes. In that case, control it. Treat it as if it's a part of your body. Imagine something subtle and calm. Imagine flowing over your calm stream of a river. Or since you are a dragon, imagine it sitting on you like it's fire. Think of it as gentle flames throwing for your limbs and body. Act as if you can control the intensity of the flames like the intensity of your emotions. Control. Flames? I begin to imagine my body being covered in flames. Flames. These are flames. I can feel them moving. It's flowing off my skin. It's part of my body. Lessen the degree of flames. Make flames go down. Gentle flames. Gentle like the flames of a phoenix wind. I heard the light sizzling. My arms felt like they were being heating up. No, don't think about that. Focus. Control your aura. Yeah, just like that. Gentle, gentle flames. Oh, I heard Sun Wukong-sama make a sound that seemed like he was impressed. I guess I'm doing something good then. So he's still slumbering in there, I see. All right, prepare yourself, boy. I'm going to see if I can wake up what's left of him. Sun Wukong-sama said. That is, he touched my chest with his staff. What is? The last thing I heard was what sounded like a single drop of water in a puddle. Doop. At that moment, my mind was invaded. What felt like 1,000 of images of sound crashed into my subconscious, things resembling memories. Screech! Ah! I clutched my head as I rolled into the ground. A crashing existence was somehow taking place in the depths of my being. Zeus, Olympus, Triad the heavens, my sun, Atlas. In the midst of my turmoil in my soul, I felt Sun Wukong-sama's staff type my head lightly. Embraced by the grace of the heavens, let the golden clouds cushion your soul. The conflict immediately ceased. My body relaxed and dropped. I let out a heaven's breath as my body collapsed from the stress. What the is that? All right, let's try this out. Stand up. Huh? He said while puffing. He tells me to stand up right after that? That's harsh. Can't he at least get a break? Ugh. I brought myself up with a struggle. I stood up hesitantly, unsteadily. Sun Wukong lifted his staff and pointed it at me. I was suddenly surrounded by an oddly colored spear and trapped within it. All right, concentrate your power into blowing out your body uncontrollably. Do it until you break from this further barrier. Use your dragon power if you wish. Just don't use any physical attacks. Huh? Break out this barrier? I pressed my hands against it. Oh, this is actually a pretty strong one. I would be able to break out by punching it with scale mail, but destroying it with nothing but my aura. Isn't that kind of ridiculous? That sounds crazy. Can I really do that by just burst Ping with power? It reminds me of Atlas. I bet he could burst through something like this without breaking a sweat thanks to the pressure released from his body. Welch Dragon Balance Breaker! I donned my armor and began increasing the aura around my body, boosting my power. Boost! Times 10. The pressure around my body increases, my aura flared from the burst of power. This isn't enough. I can't break out like this. I need more. Boost! Times 20. The aura bursting forth, my body released an incredible pressure. Yet, it still wasn't enough to even crack the barrier. No, I need more. Boost! Times 10. Partner, I do not think you are at the level of control to focus your aura on destroying the barrier properly. Theoretically, we could break through if we just kept boosting until it breaks. But I find that implausible. As it is now, you are only bleeding through stamina and nothing more. Somehow, I feel as if it isn't the point of the lesson. Then what is it? I do not know. Hell, I began to feel enraged for some reason. You're the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor, aren't you? Can't you break out of one fucking barrier? The powerful pressure started releasing my body, and it seemed to heat up my armor. Break out, break out, break out! This can't contain me. Nothing can contain me. I am the Red Dragon of Domination. There is no prison that can hold me. Not the weight of the heavens. My rage reached its peak. The word barrier echoed in my head. Break this fucking barrier! There is no longer a prison that can hold me. At that moment, the barrier broke into pieces. Bika! Extend staff. The instant I broke out, Sun Wukong sent his staff towards my chest, and my aura and armor dispelled. Boom! I fell to my knees. I coughed a bit and caught my breath. My head. What did I just do? Oh! Sun Wukong-sama laughed heartily. Well done, boy. I see. Alright, let's continue with the aura stabilization. Time for more control lessons, boy. We continue the lesson as per usual. Well, it would be wrong to call any of these training regimen usual, but hey, at least it's effective. Rest until tomorrow, boy. Good progress today as well. Thank you very much. I thanked Sun Wukong-sama as he walked away. Well, now I gotta go back to the castle in this exhausted state. Alone. Yay. Ugh. I got back up and walked towards the castle like usual. My neck is fucking killing me. I rubbed the back of my neck with my hand. I couldn't help but notice the odd burn marks on my arms. Did I get burned something during that training? Couldn't the Red Dragon Emperor do it himself? I turned around to this unfamiliar voice. A woman? It was a mature, big-breasted-looking fox lady. Is she related to Yakuza-san? No, that's not it. She happens to be another fox lady. She's the only one tail, and her fur is all white. She's wearing a blue-white nekomata with an orange obi. I heard that all fox nekomata are somehow related to the Kyuubi in some way. Maybe they're distant relatives then. Hello? She came to shake my hand. I shook it respectfully as I could. I am your Mitsu. I hope you don't find my introduction disrespectful. No, same here. It's nice to meet you. Yorimitsu. Are you Yorimitsu Raiko? Wait, like, Minamoto no Yomiritsu? Indeed, though there's obviously no relation, and it's just Yorimitsu, of course. Right, well, it's nice to meet you. I am Issei Hyodo, this generation's current Red Dragon Emperor. Maybe you already knew that. Yorimitsu giggled at my awkwardness. She giggles a lot like Yakuza-san. Maybe they are related, or maybe they just spend a lot of time together since they live here. Red Dragon Emperor Dono, or may I call you Issei Dono? There's really no need. You can call me Issei. Very well, Issei. You ended up going with it anyway. Would you like to join me for a drink, Issei? A drink? I'm underage, so... For a chat then? Sure. I'm not really sure how I was supposed to deny that without being so rude, so I decided to just accept. Yorimitsu led me a bit around the floor and brought me to one of the many rooms that resemble each other. We sat near a kotatsu in the middle of the room, and Yorimitsu brought out a bottle of sake and began drinking it from a bowl. So, Issei Dono, have you been enjoying your stay? Pretty good. Training with Sun Wukong-sama is an honor, and I love playing with the kids in my downtime. No need to be so tense. Just a friendly little chat is all I'm looking for. Right. I realized my body was a bit tense, and I tried relaxing. I also switched positions from Saizen to crossing my legs. That kind of feels better. So the children, you seem to have quite the connection when it comes to the young ones. Well, yeah. Well, I never actually really liked kids growing up, but they always seems to attach themselves to me for some reason. I'm not sure if I wasn't a terrible pervert, people let me hang around with their kids all the time. Oh, well, that's just a part of being young. Most boys tend to be like that in some way. Even Sun Wukong-sama was quite mischievous when he was a youngster. Sun Wukong really was? Yes, indeed, he was such a troublemaker. There was once a time that the Buddha himself had to seal him under a mountain as punishment for his antics. Whoa, the Buddha himself had to? No way, he was really like that? Whoa, so even Sun Wukong-sama has the trouble at such a young age. That's nuts. Looking at him now, it's a bit hard to imagine it. But even so, it's like I still feel bad for having the way I was. It's just a pervert without thinking about it. It caused a lot more trouble than needed. Maybe if I had changed somewhere along the line like Sun Wukong-sama, maybe things would have been different. Yorimitsu-sama raised a brow at my little confession. I did not expect this side from a happy-go-lucky Red Dragon Emperor like yourself. Yeah, no one does. Yorimitsu-san placed down her sake and looked at me seriously. They're calling you the God Killer, you know. I visibly flinched at her words. There were many who started doubting your existence after watching that footage. There were many who simply didn't understand the depth of the situation. In their uncertainty, they found fear. Those who are completely ignorant, like children, they pay no mind to it. However, the sensible majority can't help but feel a slight sense of unease when enters your mind. When your image enters their minds. What was once known as the Opie Dragon for children is now an existence that eliminated a highly significant mythological existence ruthlessly. It filled them with a sense of unpredictability. If he can do that without hesitation, what else can he do? That was the question. That became the seed of doubt. I see. Yes, it's only logical that they would react that way. Just a couple of months, no, even just a couple of weeks ago, I was still the same Opie Dragon, except now I was fighting a bunch of different monsters and boosting my popularity to mainstream audiences, thanks to most parents being okay with the non-perverted content. But then, one of my episodes randomly airs with no editing, tricks, like music or dramatic effects. It's just raw footage. Raw footage of me being beaten down brutally by an evil existence with the strength of a god. There was no way that we could show this to children freely. Could you imagine a child sitting in front of his TV screen, waiting for his show to start, excitedly to hold on to the Oatbite dragon figurine in his hand, then out of nowhere he's watching nothing but 10 minutes of brutality against his favorite hero with no sort of portrayal that his hero is fighting against evil? Instead, he's just fighting to survive, and the main priority is running away because victory is not possible. It's just not right. It felt too hefty for a child's mind to weigh in on. It's too real. And the worst part at the end of the program, the enemy of the hero who is killed without remorse right in front of their eyes. Uncut death. I'm glad most of the children were not able to steer that. There are many kids hearing about it around, but from the very least, none of them should be able to view the Raj-footed at this point. The god-killing Red Dragon Emperor. I wonder how many of them asked their parents why I was referred to with such a name. They still don't understand the sense of unease people around them. But you know something. Yamirtsu-san snapped me out of my thoughts. That girl, the little one, even the one she watched the footage alongside her mother, even though she didn't understand the full scope of what happened, there was not a single shred of doubt within her. The little one? Kano? Even though her mother herself had a sense of unease and doubt, her daughter stayed true. She believed that for whatever reason, that what you did was something necessary. She believed in her heart that it was something that needed to be done. Even though she didn't comprehend and fully conflict herself, she decided to believe in her hero wholeheartedly. That sweet little girl. If I had to say myself, I'd say, you have more than proven yourself. Even Yakuza-san herself seems to no longer have doubts about you. It seems like she trusts you completely. That's a hard thing to do, earn the Kyubi-sama's trust. There aren't many who have it. Even an old woman like me took years to earn it. Quite the accomplishment. Yakuza-san trusts me completely, but why? And Kano? Well, that's all I wanted to say about that hefty subject. I prefer to have more light-hearted chats. Talking about serious stuff makes me feel like an old hag, so I hope you don't mind if I want to change topics. Yakuza-san drank some more sake from her bowl and while handing me a box. What's with this? Chocolates? Go ahead, have one. They're quite delicious. Of course, thank you. Whatever you want to talk about then. I ate a couple of chocolates from the box. They are good. How about you ask me something? I've been babbling on and asked you about some things, but perhaps you're curious about something. Ask her about something? Well, if I had to ask her anything, it's gotta be that. Are you related to Yakuza-san in some way? Well, considering that I am the Kitsune, in some ways, yes. However, when it comes to blood relation, there is not truly a match. I am simply a distant cousin of the little one. A distant cousin of Kano? How is that possible? In that case, you are really young, aren't you? Whew, you flatter me. She giggled while placing her hand over her mouth. Is this person really not Yakuza-san's sister or something? Also, I am feeling dizzy, or is that just me? No, well, it's not flattery. You are seriously young. You don't look like you're from afar my age at all. You could pass as one of the younger teachers at my school at best. There's no way you look above mid-20s. I am feeling dizzy, and my vision is certainly a tiny bit fuzzy. What is... Oh my, who knew the Red Dragon Emperor was such a flirt? I knew you were lecturous, but the idea of you talking so smoothly never crossed my mind. Who knows? I might just get eaten up by a big, scary red dragon. Yamatsu says with that seductive tone. Is she pulling at her kimono near her chest area? Maybe I'm just fantasizing. Why does it make my head feel kind of heavy? What the hell is wrong with me? Red Dragon Dono. Suddenly, Yamatsu dropped her bowl of sake and pulled at her chest of her kimono, giving me a full view of her cleavage. What? What are you doing, Yamatsu-san? I'm sorry, Red Dragon Dono, but I can no longer hold myself. Yamatsu-san suddenly began crawling towards me with a red face. What? Her tail is all fluffy, and she even looks like she's drooling. What's happening? Did she just do something to my body? I looked at the box of chocolates from before. Alcoholic chocolates? You mean I'm drunk? No, this can't be. I only had 2 or 3. Maybe I'm just tipsy. Even so, does this mean I'm being attacked? Usually, a mature Nekomata like myself could control myself during these mating seasons, but somehow I can't hold myself back. It's if it's enticing. Overbearing aura of the Red Dragon Emperor has dulled my senses. I can only move on instinct, and my instinct is now to breed. Breed? Mating season? Like with cats? In actual mating season? You mean even Nekomata have those? Wait, my aura? You're saying this is because of my aura? Is it because I trained all day with it? Oh, it's because of today's lessons or my aura. So now this is having some sort of effect on her? So Wukong-sama, what have you done to me? Red Dragon Dono. Yamatsu-san suddenly jumped on me. Oh no, I was being held down by her. I don't know how to get free without hurting her. Because of the alcohol influencing my brain. I'm afraid I won't be able to hold back against her. Yamatsu-san sat on top of me sensually with her fluffy tail waggling behind her. Her panties are exposed from below. Red Dragon Emperor, she was sitting on my lower half. Is this it? Is this how I'm gonna lose my first time? Taken by some random kitsune during my training trip in Kyoto? That's quite the story to tell, but Yuritsu-san brought her face closer to mine. Slowly her lips were approaching my own. An image of a marshmallow, soft penguins flashed through my mind. Issei-sama. I placed my hands on her shoulders and held Yuritsu back. Help! Someone help! It only took a few moments before guards with masks jumped into the room. They immediately took note of the Yuritsu-san. Ah, Red Dragon Emperor Dono, she struggled as they lifted from me and began carrying her off. The next one to enter was Yakuza-san. What's going on? She saw the guards holding Yuritsu-san and approached them. Yakuza-san placed her hand on the back of Yuritsu-sama's neck. Yuritsu-sama seemed to fall asleep right after. Place her in the in a room to rest. The guards nodded and walked away while carrying Yuritsu-sama. What just happened? Yakuza-san walked over to me and gave a hand up. Are you alright, Issei-san? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sorry about that. It seems she couldn't control herself for some reason. You seem a bit unbalanced. I think she tricked me into eating some alcoholic chocolates, so I think I'm a bit tipsy. I'm truly sorry about that. Most older Nekomata can control themselves during mating season. It seems she was set off by something. It must have been because of this aura you are exuding. Yakuza-san motioned towards my body. I guess I was right after all. Yes, I understand. During that training, this would certainly be enticing. Yakuza-san says that I am intrigued manner as she slides her hand down my arm. Yakuza-san? She shook her head a few times. Forgive me, I just got lost in thought for a minute. Anyway, you should head off to rest. I'm sure you're feeling dizzy from the alcohol. Okay, don't you have anything that you would like to do with Yatsumi-san, that will take this away? She giggled. Well, yes, you should sleep it off, especially that. That? She was pointing downwards. I looked at my lower half and, oh my god! I covered my lower half with extreme embarrassment. No! Yakuza-san saw my erection. It's so embarrassing. I want to die. I'm so sorry. Whew. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's only natural for a young boy such as yourself. It's better to go take care of it and when you're by yourself. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone. She puts a finger up her lip and makes the symbol. Oh my god, I want to die. Now run along. It's better you get to your room before any of the children see you. I started walking defeatedly with exhaustion and my hands covering my lower half. Please don't see me like this, children. Though I could easily get rid of it for you. What was that? Though I could easily get rid of it for you. What was that? Nothing. I was able to sneak back to my room without being caught by any of the children. If Kano caught me, I would have actually truly died right then and there. I never did find out what Yakuza-san said, though. Part 5. The next day, I was walking towards the forest to meet up with Sung Wukong as per usual. However, I ended up seeing something very large and green moving above the trees above me. What the hell was that? I made it to our usual spot. I already told you, Urji-sama. I can only eat so much, you know. I'm tired of eating. I wanted to do something adventurous. Wasn't there any missions we have to take over? I feel like I'll die here from boredom. Yar. For a retired Dragon King, you sure do complain about relaxing, don't you? I've been relaxing for a month. I have grown tired of it. Let me fight something interesting, something like, I walked into a conversation between Sun Wukong and the Jade Dragon, Yulong. Boy, today your lesson is flight control. Just as Sun Wukong-sama said that, Yulong began to breathe in air in his mouth, as if to breathe farther. No, you're joking. His mouth puffed up, and you've got to be Welch Dragon Balance Breaker! Try not to kill him, green brat! Oh, come on! Ha! I was breathing heavily with my armor broken in multiple places and Ascalon in my hand. My helmet was gone along pieces from my abdomen and my forearm. I've been fighting Yulong for only about 2 hours, and I feel like it's been all day. It haven't even reached noon yet, and I'm exhausted as So this is the strength of a Dragon King, huh? It's reminiscent of Tanin Oni-san, but with less pure power and more grace and technique. This is the youngest of the Dragon Kings. He acts like it, but he certainly doesn't fight like it. Come at me again, Drake. I'm having a lot of fun. He says that with a joyful tone. Well, at least one of us is enjoying this. Do you not find this sparring just enjoyable, partner? Well, it's hard to feel like I'm having fun with someone so much stronger than me, you know. I usually had fun when it comes to weaker enemies that I had to defeat while keeping certain conditions in mind. Those were fun. So you only find comfort in the certainty of victory. Well, it's not like I was certain of victory. Whether or not you could fulfill the conditions of the trials is not what I'm referring to. What I mean is those enemies were always weaker to a certain extent, whether it was in your balance breaker form or Triana. You were technically always at the advantage should things become dangerous. So victory was something that was ensured whether you failed the trial or not. I'm asking if what's what you find comfort in. Well, I mean, that's... Enough of that, partner. There are times when you must fight those who are above your strength, to find enjoyment only in battles which victory is ensured, the way of a coward, not a warrior, the most especially not a dragon. You are stuck with this fight, are you not? In that case, learn to enjoy it. A chance this may never come again, and if you have no way to avoid it either way, why not enjoy yourself if it lasts? Well, if it's for my partner, then I'll do it. Boost! Times 5. Jet! I boosted straight towards Yulong with Ascalon in my hand. My best strategy of attack has been to use my size to my advantage. In other words, zip around Yulong while slashing his body with Ascalon. I don't have much stamina, so I can't be recklessly using my night form. The best I can do for right now is attack him while boosting power into Ascalon. I began flying around Yulong while cutting into his skin. As I thought, these cuts aren't deep enough at all. How much power do I have to transfer into Ascalon? I need myself to keep myself speed up, you know. Okay, then spin. Yulong suddenly started spinning his long body in the air crazy fast speed. The pressure from the wind ended up pushing me back. The pressure is too strong. I can't stay near him unless I'm faster. I can't do it unless I have the night. Promotion. Welt's Dragon. Sonic Boost. Chain Star Sonic! Armor release! My armor reformed and then shaved itself off again to change forms into the more aerodynamic version. Yulong whipped his long body around happily. Alrighty, let's go! Speedy form is the best! He began spewing green flames at me. Yes, even this bastard's flames are green. Apparently has the ability to change the color. Boom! I easily evaded the flames and flew around in a circle above the forest. Yulong's flames followed me all the way around until a circle of green fire sat in the sky above the forest. After avoiding all the flames, I shot towards him and zipped around his body while slashing. The cuts still aren't deep, but if I can keep circling and cutting into the same places again and again, then soon enough they'll become deep cuts. Whoa, too fast, too small, too close. You are like a mosquito taking my blood. In that case, Yulong took breath into his lungs. Then he began spewing fire onto himself while spinning his body like before, essentially surrounding both of us in a spiral cone of flames. Boom! Ah! The flames were strong, but not in my normal armor. The problem was I was wearing the slimmed down version. My armor began to crack in various places, and I felt to burn on my skin. I pulled back and jumped out of the flames. It was too much for me to take. If I had stayed any longer, my armor would have been destroyed. If the armor had somehow took less stamina, or maybe just jetpack speed, released more power naturally without needing to be boosted. If only I was like when I had Hermes' blessings. Dreg, I have an idea. What is it? I shouted into the sky. Triania Cassadius, the bird of Hermes! It went silent. Oh, Ojisaru, I think he's lost it. Is he okay? Quiet, brat. Let him concentrate. Drake, it didn't work. If you were going to do something like a drastic change to the armor, then you should have warned me. Yelling out a name won't do anything. So, you're saying it's possible? If you put your heart and soul into it, it won't just come naturally. You have to make it a part of yourself. Feel it first. If you can feel it, then grab it. You should be a good form there. Feel it. What's he doing? Shh, quiet, brat. Feel it. At the time, I had Hermes' blessing. It was fast, crazy fast. Imagine that speed. Feel it. My strikes were insanely fast. The power from my jetpack was immeasurable. It took less stamina to use that form. It took less boost to increase my speed. Give me that. In order to get that, feel it. Triania Cassadius. Feel it. I am. The shining symbol of Cassadius flashed through my mind. The bird of Hermes. The bird of Hermes. Shing! My armor began releasing a bright light. Drake, is it happening? It is. Do not lose that feeling, partner. Keep it going. Say the name you desire with your heart. All right. I shouted with all my heart. Triania Cassadius, bird of Hermes! My armor made an announcement I've never heard. Change Olympic Messenger! Shin! Whoa, he's shining brightly. What's up with that? Ho ho ho! As he began dying down, I could feel that there was a change in my armor. Whoa! He's got a new look, doesn't he? That ain't what it like it used to be. Ha! Nicely done, boy. I did not expect you to master that form, though, in evolution. You must have good imagination after all, then. I looked down at my armor. It looked like as if it had become sharper. The claws were deadly sharp, and the edge of the armor were pointing back in the same direction, almost like it was given an even more aerodynamic design rather than just less armor. The black-suited armor underneath read an old hexagonal design with a shape all over it. It felt like easier to breathe than this. For some reason, I get the impression that it's designed to give me resistance to fire and heat. Why did this happen? Is it because I was thinking of pressure Atlas' body at least when I was fighting him? Drake, what has changed? First, you have already observed the physical design change. It has become even more aerodynamic than before, thanks to the sharper as well. Second, you were right about the design under the skin armor. Thanks to the change, you have received a better resistance to heat in this form, despite it not being the most durable form. Lastly, I can't be sure, but I believe that your jetpack has undergone a change. It has even more propulsion in sections that are even minor ones under your legs and arms. From the looks of it, I believe it would consume less stamina to propel yourself forward. Just as desired, this form has essentially evolved. I didn't know that you would be able to accomplish such a thing. Ah, well, thanks for believing in me. Forgive me, partner. I have the tendency for doubting the nigh impossible. I should have already learned that you are the host of possibility. Of course you did it. Also, I'm not sure you noticed the final detail of your armor. I looked over my armor again. There were little golden wings, the same color as my horns resting on the sides of my legs and helmets. Boy! Sun Wukong called out from below. How is your stamina? Low. Is that so? Extend staff. Sun Wukong extended his staff up towards me. The moment it touched my chest, it felt like I hit a rejuvenation spell. My stamina has returned. That should cover you for the day. Thanks, Oji-sama. I mean, Sun Wukong-sama? He waved his hand casually. That's fine as well. Yeah, just call him Oji-sama. That's what I call him. You be silent, disrespectful brat. He's alright with him calling him that, but that seems so disrespectful. Isn't it disrespect to call you that? Pfft, I was never the one who thought so highly of himself to cry about it. You have earned my respect. I don't mind. Huh? I've earned respect? I'm so happy. I earned the respect of the first generation Sun Wukong? Okay, enough talking. I want you to try this new form. Oh, it looks like Yuzong has become impatient. Let's oblige him, shall we, partner? Let's go. Tokage-san, Chinese lizard. That's the spirit, rubby brat. Yulong, this isn't Ruby. It's unfortunately the battle had started before Drake had a chance to complain further. Ha! What a fun day. Fun day, Yulong laughed happily as I sat on the floor on my ass. His long body was covered in a bunch of scratches, and a few of them were bleeding a lot. Meanwhile, my armor disappeared from exhaustion. It already was nighttime. I didn't even change the usual amount, like until evening. We fought all the way until night, and now I feel like I'm dying. Alright, that should cover me for a while. Thanks for the spar, Ruby brat. Yulong flew off with that, leaving Sun Wukong and I alone. Alright, boy, good progress today as well. From tomorrow onward, we'll be implementing all the lessons you've learned into one test. You'll have the remaining days to pass it. Thank you for your hard work. Due to the exhaustion in my body, I was forced to crawl to the castle this time. Unfortunately, Sun Wukong said that he couldn't give me another stamina jump because it would have a heavy toll on my body, so at least my arms still work. Opie Dragon? As soon as I entered the castle, there was a group of children looking down at me curiously. Hey, kids. What about this one then? No, surely that would take too much time. I heard voices as I approached the doorway. Inside from Yakuza, there were two advisors. I passed by. Well, if we made sure to, they stopped mid-conversation upon seeing me. That's because I'm being dragged on the floor past the door by a group of kids while my body is out of commission. Hello? I waved as I slid past. There was no sound coming from that room for a while. The next day. Alright, boy, here is your test. Sun Wukong drew a circle on the floor with his staff around his body. Your test for today is to get me to move from this spot. Get you to move, like attack until you move? However you can. Attack me or use your mind. Either way, the goal is the same. Moving me from this spot. Get him to move out of this circle, huh? That seems easy. 3 hours pass. I was wrong. Ha! What's wrong? Aren't you known for destruction? What is this situation then? Sun Wukong laughed as I breathed heavily. The situation he's referring to is the environment. That's because the environment around Sun Wukong is nothing but a giant crater, except for a small piece of land that he originally stood on, holding him up like a pillar. How? How the hell does this even happen? I literally shot right at him and attacked him with a shitload of times. How the hell is that a piece of land still undamaged? Every time I attacked him directly, he would dodge it with ease, without moving from his spot. What is he? Come on now. That can't be all you have. I still haven't moved an inch since we originally started. Drag, we're going all in. Roger. Let's go, Oji-saru. After that, the 3 days of my training flew right by me, along with all of the events that took place in them. The next day, I was finally able to get him to move from this spot, forcing him to dodge an attack. Ha! Job well done, boy. Alright, next attack. Next test. Try to take these bells I have in the hand from me. What? I was able to accomplish that in 3 hours using my newfound speed, increase my new form, Trianacadasius. Okay, good progress as usual. I didn't expect you to do it today, but you surprised me. Alright, let's get started with tomorrow's tomorrow's test right now, shall we? Now, try to catch me. I was able to catch him in 5 hours, but good work again. Now, try to land a successful hit on me. Gosh damn it. Opie Dragon, play with us. The children pulled my arms. I tried walking in the room in exhaustion. Not today, kids. I'm exhausted from training. Play with us. Please play with us. Now, children. Issei-san has had a hard day. Let's let him rest, shall we? Yakuza-san, these kids listen to her instructions. Okay, Yakuza-san, you're my savior. Thank you. I held Yakuza's hand in my own while shedding comical tears. What a truly kind maiden. Oh, no, it's no big deal. Now you go rest. I'll take care of the children. Thank you. I thanked her weakly as I walked off to my room. I could hear one of Yakuza's advisors start speaking with her about something I didn't listen to. Yakuza-sama, about these papers. Yakuza-sama? Yes, forgive me. I was distracted. What is it? Your mind seems to be occupied with something. Or is it? No, it is of no concern. The last day of my training, I was standing in the forest with Sun Wukong like always. Tomorrow, I leave Kyoto and return to base. After that, there's only about a week until the game. Alright, boy, now it's time for your final test. I'm ready. Sun Wukong smirked as he puffed some smoke. Whoosh! He made a cool stance with his staff. Face me. Face him? A fight? My final test is a fight? A fight with the great monkey Buddha? Wait, what's my condition for winning? He smirked again. You win when I bleed. That was so fucking cool! Welch Dragon, balance breaker! I made my own stance. Are you ready, Drake? Let's do it, partner! Okay, old man, show me that great monkey Buddha from the west has got. Ha! Good speech, boy. Very well. The same to you. Show me exactly what the god-slaying Longinus user, the god-killing Red Dragon Emperor, is made of. Oh, yeah. Thank you for everything up until now. I bowed gratefully to Sun Wukong as he dusted himself off. My body was damaged heavily. Meanwhile, he only had a dirt and light amount of blood in certain areas. Thinking nothing of it, it has been a while since I've enjoyed training as student. It was a good week. I lifted myself up and asked him with uncertainty, do you think I've gotten stronger? He scoffed. Well, if you are training with me, then it is impossible not to be so. However, I am more aware of your rapid increase in skill rather than power. Control. The area of yours is certainly strengthened beyond any of what you had before. Though you most likely don't realize it yet because of constantly training with only me, will certainly become obvious once you are in a real battle. I see. Well, nevertheless, thank you for everything. I bowed. He only chuckled. There is no need to do it again. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just very thankful. Sun Wukong began to walk off. He waved back at me. Good luck with your match, boy. I'll be sure to watch it. Yes, thank you for everything. I waved goodbye to Sun Wukong as he walked out from the left of the forest. I guess that concludes my training with him. Now, I trained Sun Wukong-sama himself for a week. How is this only sinking in? Say, partner. What's up, Drake? Do you think they'll notice? Notice what? The forest. I looked around the forest. Over 90% of it is gone. Well, maybe. It was my last night here in Kyoto. Right now, I'm just sitting on the porch on the side of this building, looking up at the sky. I leave this place tomorrow. After Sun Wukong left, I cleaned up and got ready for bed, but I couldn't really sleep. I'm kind of actually sad. I enjoyed my time here. I learned a lot of things and saw a lot of new places. Plus, I spent time with everyone in this castle. Those kids really are a blast. How long will it be till I see them again? Issei? Kano appeared behind me in a pillow in her arms. Ooh, she's wearing some really cute pajamas. Kano, you're not asleep yet? She shook her head while looking away. I couldn't. How come? Because. She just glanced at me a few times. Want to sit with me? She walked and sat beside me. It went silent. I leave tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'll come back again, but I had fun. I hope it'll be soon. Me too. It went silent again. After a few seconds, Kano leaned against my shoulder and laid her head on me. Kano? She held her pillow up in her mouth and spoke in a quiet voice. I will miss you. Yeah, I'll miss you too. Really? Yeah, I will. She curled up into a hug in her pillow. Then she laid her head into my lap and shut her eyes. She looked like a baby. Kano? Please, just for tonight. Okay. Kano laid there and gradually fell asleep. My hand lowered onto her head and I gently stroked her hair. I looked up at the night sky. Yeah, I'll miss you too. Even though I said that, there was an odd sense of comfort I felt the idea of returning to Gregar. I would be returning to... I'm such a scumbag. In the end, I feel kind of happy thinking about seeing you again, Ravel. Little did I know there was someone else observing Kano and I, with similar feelings as us. Part 6. Thank you for everything up until now. I bowed and I thanked the people in front of me. I was standing in front of the castle with Kano, Yakuza-san and their personal guards, and the children who lived there. It was time for my departure. I had a slip in my hand and was apparently given to me by Azazel without noticing. It was for teleporting me back to the Gagar. In case you were wondering why I was transported to train station at Kyoto when I first arrived instead of being teleported, it's because Azazel thought it was funny to have a dramatic effect when I realized where I was going. Anyway, it's my time to go on, and I'm giving my final goodbyes. When will the Opie dragon come back? One of the children asked me with a thumb in their mouth. It was the usually quiet Ryosuke. I smiled and ruffled his hair. As soon as I can. For the first time since being here, I got to see a small smile on his face. Yakuza-san picked up Ryosuke and smiled. That's right, he'll be back as soon as he can, but don't worry. You'll be able to see him very soon, okay? Ryosuke nodded and Yakuza was comforting him. That's right, I'll try to come back as soon as I can. I don't know if it'll be very soon, but I'll try to make it that way. Though I can't help but feel an odd implication in Yakuza's words. Make sure you win against that other guy, okay? I'll be cheering for you, so you better not lose. Got it? Kano said to me with a stern pout. I smiled. Got it. Yakuza-san directed her smile at me. Do come back soon, Issei-san. Our home is your home. You are always welcome here. Well, what? That's too high of an honor for someone like me. She giggled. Whew, there are so many who would disagree with that opinion, remember? I realized I had no argument to which he said those familiar words to me. Right. Also, because I am Japanese, I felt compelled to offer her hospitality despite it being unnecessary as well. I bounced my fist off my chest. Well, the same goes for me. You guys are always welcome in my home as well. What am I saying? There's no way for you to go there. For some reason, Yakuza-san laughed as if she found it extremely amusing. Is that so? That's very nice to hear. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I brought up my slip and prepared to tear it. Goodbye. Thank you for everything. The same to you, Issei-san. I tore the paper in half and the magic circle appeared beneath me. Kano called out to me with teary eyes as I disappeared. Issei, you better come back, okay? You definitely have to come back. Got it? Yeah, I've got it, Kano. And make sure you win that match, okay? Yes, ma'am. Goodbye. Goodbye. And no, that's wrong. I gave Kano a wide grin. See you soon. Kano smiled back. Yes, see you soon. Shin. With that, I enveloped by light and transported back to the Gagar. Shin. I opened my eyes. I was back in the facility. Ah, you're back, Issei. The person I was greeted by was Azazel. Oh, is this his office? I was transported straight here, huh? Welcome back. Azazel patted my back and he moved to another table to continue working on whatever he was working on. Is that it? Is what it? Wow, what an unceremonious welcome. I feel back home already. You should go rest in your room for today. Ravel's been waiting for you there for a while. Ravel, I immediately ran to the door. Issei? Azazel stopped me as I was about to exit the room. He looked at me with a serious expression. I'm afraid that you'll only have today to rest. You'll have to go back on the treadmill tomorrow, somewhere far from here. You'll be there for 5 days. Huh? Even though Azazel said something shocking, I couldn't object to him. If he's serious about it, then it must be important. Where to? He covered his mouth in contemplation. To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure. This is similar to the last trial with Song Wukong in which someone else makes his decisions. Though, this someone is... All I can tell you is that it's related to the last thing you requested on your original list for the trials. But don't worry, this time I have an emergency procedures in place. Something related to that last thing I requested? You mean it's related to that person? Was he able to fulfill such a ridiculous request? I wasn't even sure I was thinking at the same time deciding that. So if he somehow got it, then... Alright. I turned to leave, but he called out to me once more. Issei. I looked back. He was smirking. You have the aura of a sleeping monster. Thanks. I ran off towards my room. I couldn't give any attention to people trying to greet me. My mind was too occupied. I'm home. I'm back. Ravel. The kun. I opened the door to my room. Ravel was sitting on the bed while looking at some photos with tired eyes. My photos. Ah. But they were all up-close shots. It felt like Issei-sama was really looking at me through the photos. Ravel? I called out to her, and she took notice of me. She stood up, not bothering to hide the photos. Issei-sama! I opened my mouth to speak, but I realized I had nothing to say. We stood there in silence. I ran here without thinking. I was too occupied with seeing her, and I didn't think about what to say. I could only my mind brought back to our last interaction. My senses were flooded with sensations of our previous encounter. Her taste, her smell, her sound, her lips. I couldn't think of anything else. I swallowed a lump in my throat as I approached her. Her body seemed to tense up. I halted in front of her. It's only now I feel so conscious of the height difference. You look tired. Yeah, I have not slept well. How come? She went silent for a bit. I'm sorry. Huh? Why are you apologizing? If anything, I should be apologizing. She shook her head lightly and kept her gaze down. She spoke in a quiet voice. The truth is, I haven't slept because you were not here with me. But that's just being selfish. I was just thinking about myself. I grabbed onto Ravel's hand gently. Since I'm here, would you like to rest with me here today, Ravel? Ravel nodded in a teary smile. Yes. Ravel apologized as we got onto the bed. I'm sorry for being selfish. No, I'm being selfish here. Without even thinking about it, Ravel snuggled in my arms and we lied down together. Yeah, just for today, let's both be selfish. With that, Ravel and I drifted off into sleep. The next day, I stood silently on top of the mountain here in the underworld. I'm only 2 kilometers away from the Gagar. Apparently, I'm here to meet someone. The person in charge of handling my last trial. Someone related to the very last suggestion I had on my original list. If that's true, then he's here. Just as Drake said that, I could see a head of a figure appear in my line of sight, ascending upon the mountain straight ahead of me. As I thought, that's... It's been a while, Issei Hyodo. Volley! Indeed, the person who stopped just a few meters ahead of me with a familiar handsome smirk was none other than Volley Lucifer, my rival. Yo, Issei Hyodo, I heard Azazel was interested in getting us to meet for some reason. Luckily for him, I happened to be interested in this proposal not too long after it was given, so I've decided to meet with you. Interested in a meeting, huh? Was that all you got to agree with meeting with me? He crossed his arm. Well, you didn't possibly think I could refrain from pursuing you after what happened to the Titan God, did you? Ah, so you're interested in a fight then. A fight. Isn't that what you had originally requested, Azazel, before? It's what you suggested to me. No, that's what I'm interested in. Something like that. His blue eyes glistened subtly. I narrowed my eyes suspiciously. What are you plotting? I had heard from Byoko you have trained with the legendary Sun Wukong and Yulong for some time. How did you find out about that? We have our ways. Same shitty vague answer as always. All the supervillains give. In many eyes, it is you who had become the potential supervillain, Godslayer. I flinched. He chuckled at that. This is the most I've seen him smiling and laughing. It's as if he enjoys our interaction immensely, unlike times before. In fact, the way he speaks in a more respectful in a way, it's less as if he's looking down on me like he used to, and more of how he finds amusement in our talk. His whole opinion of me has shifted? No, more than that. He now looks at me constantly with battle-hungry eyes. I've never seen so much bloodlust from him. It almost gives me the chills. He truly wants to fight me to the death. You still haven't answered my question. If you're not looking for just a fight, then what are you planning to do? He chuckled again. No, he straight up laughed. Ha! I could feel an unnerving feeling rise up of myself. I've never heard him laugh like that before. What the He looked down at me with a smile of the devil, literally. Well, I am no wise master, but I am certainly a good impersonator. He said something I didn't understand, then suddenly, shin, blue magic circles appeared that I've never anything like before under both Volley and I. Huh? What? Magic circles? This type. It's attached to me. I'm being forcefully transferred somewhere. This is a special magic circle that only goes to a certain place. You should be grateful. I went to great lengths to obtain it. Volley, where are you taking us? The magic circle enveloped us in a light. The last thing I saw before shutting my eyes were Volley's own. To hell. Shin! I felt a sudden loss of the feeling. I opened my eyes. It was as if my senses were abruptly dulled to an extreme level. I opened my eyes. The moment I did, I heard an abundance of blood-curdling screams. Ah! What is this place? The place I was in, the sky was red. No, the sky was covered in nothing but red clouds. No sky. Purple lightning sparked throughout them. The place was divided into 3 large rings. From the looks of it, we were in the innermost ring. I could see far out of the ring, other rings divided by a circular wall of black rock. Something I noticed, every ring had in them, I was standing on a small island, and surrounding me was boiling sea of blood and fire, and there were people in it. Ah! And the outmost ring was where I could see the most people. That place was nothing but a sea of building of blood with people in it. They looked like they were burning alive. The second ring also had the same sea around, but there was no people in it. Instead, I see many small islands like the one I'm standing on, but there are many black bushes and trees. There were odd creatures feasting on them. I've seen those before. They are called harpies, right? But more than that, there are people being chased by demonic-looking dogs on the islands, and they're being eaten alive, and they don't seem to die. Actually, that goes for everyone here. Even though they look like they're dying from various things, they don't die. In this ring, I was sitting on a small barren island made from sand. Surrounding me was red boiling sea. There were people struggling to swim the island while burning, and a man made it to the island and placed his hand on the other sand. Boom! His hand burst into flames. Ah! His whole body caught fire within the pool as he released his grip on the island. He began drifting away in flames. The final detail I noticed was the rain. The rain was falling from the sky, but it only fell into the island. It was oddly colored, almost like oil, and it didn't even touch me. It wouldn't even make contact with my skin. It just seemed to disappear before touching me, as I was protected by a force field, but there's nothing around me. This is hell. What the f*** is this place? Volley answered from behind me. This is the 7th circle. Violence. I whipped around. Volley stood out there looking at a terrible place. The 7th circle? Are you familiar with the story of Dante's Inferno, Issei Hyodo? Dante's Inferno? Isn't that a story about a poet going to the 9 circles of hell? Volley nodded. But isn't that a fictional story? Just as I thought, Volley spoke. A story based in reality, I'm afraid. You mean there are 9 circles of hell? Indeed. The autonomy of their underworld is a section by the section type setup. There's a devils and fallen angels underworld that you are familiar with, which happens to be the largest and most general section. In that place, there are major conditions set upon any of those who visit or reside there. There are many reincarnated devils who are just humans can adapt just fine. It is essentially no different from feeling compared to the human world, despite the environmental differences. Then, besides that, is Hades. Hades is sectioned off by black mountains, but there are such different conditions in that place. Not to mention, there are certain souls that end up there and not others. Besides, Hades is the underworld ruled by Egyptian gods. Then, of course, there are other sections controlled by minor pantheons as versions of hell. Essentially, the underworld is a large mashup of many underworlds from different mythologies. The Norse hell is not a part, though. That resides elsewhere. You mean to tell me that all this time there are so many parts of the underworld like existing one at a time? Of course there was. You never just saw them. Isn't it foolish to assume you've seen it all? He's right. I shouldn't be shocked by that. However, I have every right to be shocked about it. So then, what does that have to do with the existing? With this place existing? Well, a certain long time ago, there was a great war between the 3 powers. The underworld was not the place used as hell for Christian mythology. These 9 circles were, however, after a certain time, these places became obsolete. It was somewhere around the time that the great-grandfather escaped from his prison of ice of the 9th circle. After that, these places were no longer used. It had become outdated and unnecessary hell, especially since Devil had escaped. So, this place always existed? He nodded. It was the hell before hell. Or in this case, the underworld. For Christian mythology, after it became obsolete, however, it was no longer used anymore. As of right now, the only ones who are trapped here are those from a past long forgotten, long lost souls from thousands of years ago. No new souls can enter anymore. Instead, new souls are sent elsewhere in the underworld. It is the same with purgatory. Purgatory stopped being used after the death god of the Bible. Unfortunately, just like purgatory, this place is forever. After the death of God and Satan and the end of the Great War, attempts to free the damned souls were made. The same in purgatory, but they were all unsuccessful. God had condemned them truly. The seal he placed upon their souls were too hefty and could never be removed. Purgatory is empty because luckily, any of the trapped souls were automatically released to heaven after paying their sins, and no new souls could enter after God's death. But these souls, there is no saving them. They have no redemption. They are trapped here for eternity. I felt chills as he said that. This is all too much to take in. What the fuck? The 7th circle is hell and divided into 3 rings. The outer ring houses murderers and others who are violent to other people and property. Here, Dante sees Alexander the Great Dionysius, Socrates, God Monfont, and many other noble historical and mythological figures such as Aeneas sank into the river of boiling blood and fire. In the middle ring, the poet sees suicides who have been turned into trees and bushes which are fed upon harpies. But he also sees here prolificates, chased, torn to pieces by dogs. In the inner ring are blasphemous and sodomitians, residing in the desert of burning and sand, burning rain falling from the sky. That is a proper description of where we are. The 7th circle violence, a place filled with those who are violent and full of bloodlust. A fitting place, no? Volley ends his dump of world-bending information with that. What the is this real? Am I in a nightmare? This can't be real. Burning sands, burning rain, and where we're at. I reached out my hand to touch the rain, but none landed on my skin. The rain won't affect us, because we are not sodomites. However, the sand most likely will. The sand. I leaned down and lightly placed my finger on the sand. Before I could even touch it, I was pulled up by the collar by Volley, but I could still feel a burn on my fingertips. Don't touch it, fool. We are devils. Our existence is a representation of blasphemy. If you would have made physical contact, your body would have burst into flames. Holy that was stupid. I almost died. I need to be more careful, but more importantly, why in the world are we here, Volley? Volley regained his smirk from not too long ago. I might not be able to spar with you expertly as the first generation Sun Wukong, but I can certainly give you a battle of your life. What do you mean by that, Volley? The smirk of a devil returned. Vanishing Dragon, Balance Breaker! There are 9 days before your match with the Hair of Biel. We will be returned from this place in 1 week. If you die in this place, your soul will remain trapped here forever. The only way to survive this place is to fight to the death. Can you survive in this place, or will you be killed by me? Huh? Welt's Dragon Balance Breaker. Volley, you can't be... Ha! Let's see if the two heavenly dragons can last together in such a place. Issei Hyodo, trapped within the seventh circle of hell, I was forced into a battle with my internal rival. Fight or die. My last trial had finally begun. And that's the end of Chapter 8, Familiar Faces. How long was this video? Is this like 2 to 3 hours? I don't even know at this point. But honestly, I don't want to yap too much. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Become a channel member. That'd be absolutely amazing. I really do appreciate all my Juggernaut Drive, Balance Breakers, and my Patreon members. Thank you so much. Let's try to hit 100 to 200 likes. And I'm kind of tired, so... Man, this was a lot of reading. Without further intrusion, ladies and gentlemen, Spartanic Arts DxD out.